and everything. Hello? Hello? Hi, guys. There's music in the background for this. Thank God. Hello, everyone. Um, Ben. Who was it? Ben, Liam, Mr. Little Ninja. Thank you for hanging out in the pre-show chat. I'm like, I kid you not, I wasn't expecting to set up this on the Red app, because we're live on 3 different platforms right now. That's why I gotta do and all that stuff. And since 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, there has been people in the chat and all that stuff this whole time. How's everyone doing? How are you guys? And all that stuff. Welcome in. We are less than 14 minutes away from watching the very first showcase of the new year, in a way, and everything. We are checking out the New Game Plus showcase. We're in for a long ride, I will say that, and all that stuff. Good. How are you, sir? I am doing well. I am trying to make sure that we are able to survive this, because this is our very first showcase of the year, and it's a very long one. Apparently got 45 games to check out, interviews, and all this other stuff. My only intention for watching this is because of the fact of, like, what is this going to provide to us and all that stuff. It's nearly 9 p.m. here. Ben, where are you, my good sir? And all that stuff, if you're willing to expose that. To let everyone know, we are live on 3 different platforms and all that stuff. If you're rather on the purple side of things, the red side of things, and of course on the TikTok side of things. And all that stuff. Honestly, I didn't think I had this already on this side of things. And everything. It's very crazy to see. I hope everyone's doing well. I have to make sure of keeping track of. I mean, I can't track 3 different chats at once, but still, it's nice to do that. Ireland, wonderful. Sounds like a wonderful time over there and everything. I'm, again, welcome in. For those who are new and are here for the first time, my name is Ricky. We mainly stream on all that stuff. I mainly stream over here on, we stream on 3 different platforms and all that stuff, so you have different ways of checking us out on where you want to be and all that stuff. Links should be in the description below if you're watching this on the Red app and everything. Like I said, today is our first stream of the day, as we are California. I am from California, from Olympia State. That's all.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a fantastic fantasy RPG.
Old school RuneScape is the greatest game of all time.
Lies of P is a better video game than Bloodborne.
The RPG category is so broad to the point that it's meaningless.
Mouse and keyboard is easier to be good at than controller.
The Horizon franchise is very mid.
A battle royale would not have saved Halo Infinite.
A battle royale would have saved Halo Infinite.
Multiplayer games are held to lower standards because everything you do with your friends is fun by default.
If most of our favorite games launched today, people would call them bad.
Hideo Kojima writes dialogue like an alien trying to convince everyone else he's a person, and it's bad.
Early access is good for video games.
Arkham Origins has the best written story in the Arkham series.
Nintendo is held to different standards than other companies.
Marathon is a more fun game than Arc Raiders.
PC or console? PC.
PC.
I hate this.
PC.
Take.
Console.
PlayStation or Xbox? PlayStation.
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 Your mom.
Mouse and keyboard or controller?
I hate these takes.
Mouse and keyboard.
Can I be honest about something?
Mouse and keyboard.
I hate these kind of takes.
Depends for what.
I really do.
Controller.
Single player
and
or
all that stuff.
multiplayer?
I hate
Single player.
takes. They make no
Multiplayer.
sense whatsoever.
Single player.
Single player.
Our
Competitive or
Catholics are
casual?
dropping like
Competitive.
stuff.
Casual.
My thing
Casual.
about
Next.
these takes,
Call of Duty or Battlefield?
they make no
Battlefield.
sense whatsoever.
Bastard.
And all that
Battlefield.
stuff.
Call of Duty.
Ugh.
Counter-Strike or Valorant?
Valorant.
Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike.
Apex or Fortnite?
Apex.
Fortnite.
I can't gritty with Master Chief and Apex, so we'll go Fortnite.
Whatever.
Overwatch or Marvel Rivals?
Marvel Rivals.
You say neither or neither? I'm from Iowa.
Either.
Neither?
No. You can say, if you pronounce it either way.
He said
Neither.
Marvel Rivals.
Ooh, that's a good one. Mmm. Like release Overwatch?
Arc Raiders or Escape from Tarkov?
Arc Raiders.
Arc Raiders.
Arc Raiders.
Escape from Dukov.
Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption?
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption, Arthur.
Mmm. Red Dead.
Elden Ring or Sekiro?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
I haven't played Sekiro, but I'm gonna go Elden Ring.
Both.
Dark Souls or Bloodborne?
Bloodborne.
Guys, what should I answer? Dark Souls.
Dark Souls. No, I'm sorry, Bloodborne. Change my mind.
Would you choose with children you love?
Can I be honest with something about you guys about one thing 1 sec before we get on this? Because these takes, to me, this makes no sense whatsoever. Because here's the thing: when I stream, we play. There's a lot of I play a lot of games. I play a lot of different games and all that stuff. And it's just I don't care about what's better, who's this, what they play or anything like that. All I care about is someone if they are enjoying the game and all that stuff. I play a majority of what these games have brought up so far and all that stuff. There's some I'll probably prefer to more than certain things, but that depends on the situation of what the game is providing me at the time and all that stuff. But it's like I'm already going into this not liking what I'm seeing and everything and all that stuff. I play Fortnite, I play Call of Duty, I play Arc Raiders, I play this, I play that, I've played Expedition 33, I've played Power, Pokemon, all this stuff that they're showing and all that stuff, and I've enjoyed every single game. I don't need to have to pick an either or, because it doesn't need to happen. I care for the fact of like, I care for the fact that when you come into when you come into here, whether we're live, wherever we're live on here and all that stuff, I care for the fact of like, you're here just to see what it's about. You want to know more of it about, if you're interested in what it's about, or you're just here to hang out and all that stuff. It's the point of us having fun with video games, no matter what. Can certain video games have issues? Of course they can. But at the same time and all that stuff, it's about making sure it's pointed out constructively, not toxically, and all that stuff. We're here to have everything it is about having a good time. Everything it is, whatever it's a single player game, multiplayer game, co-op, PvE, any kind of that kind of stuff, whatever it is, arena shooter, battle royale, and all that stuff, extraction stuff and everything like that. When you break it down to whatever it is, as long as you're having the fun, you're having a good time, all that matters to me and all that stuff, whoever comes into my stream and all that stuff. That's all I care about, really, and all that stuff. And I care and all that stuff. I care about, I have games, like I will tell you, I have a list of games that are coming out this year alone, and there's still more to it. There's still more and everything. I just want whoever comes in here and everything, that you're playing such and such and it's a good time and everything like that and everything. And yes, you might have a game that you don't like. That's fine. I'm not going to fault you against it, but it's like, if I'm having a good time, it's because I enjoy, because of what it probably provides. You're going to have something that you're going to have that thing is gonna have a good time with, that I'm probably not gonna have a good time with, and that's we're human. At the end of the day, we're human. All that stuff. Hot takes make no sense nowadays and everything in this world, and it sucks that it's what takes over everything. And again, these hot takes feels like it contradicts everything of what we're about to go into.
PC.
PC.
It's the same
Console.
takes.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
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 Your mom.
Didn't you?
Mouse and keyboard.
With
or
the take
controller?
of the year so far.
Mouse and keyboard.
Mouse and keyboard.
Depends for what.
Controller.
Single player or
With
multiplayer?
the take
Single
of
player.
the year. I am pinning
Multiplayer.
this.
Single player.
I am
Single
pinning
player.
this.
Competitive or casual?
Competitive.
Casual.
Casual.
Everything. Everyone likes
Next.
different stuff,
Call of Duty
except the
or
differences. Be happy with what you like.
Battlefield.
What's the point of creating these hot takes? Exactly. Exactly.
Battlefield.
Anger
Call
and
of Duty.
aggress. That's all it is.
Ugh.
Counter-Strike or Valorant?
Valorant.
Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike.
Like, I don't get this.
Apex or Fortnite?
Apex.
Fortnite.
I can't gritty with Master Chief and Apex, so we'll go Fortnite.
Whatever.
Overwatch or Marvel Rivals?
Marvel Rivals.
You say neither or neither? I'm from Iowa.
Either.
Neither?
And that's the other thing.
You could say
That's the other thing.
pronounce it either way.
He said
That's the other thing. The fact that when they do the takes and a couple of them have already been like, or neither or neither, like, just pick one at least that has somewhat enjoyable and all that stuff. I get it. Maybe there's more to it, but at the same time, it's just like the point of it is just to give a take. The only considerable one that I thought was reasonable was the controller M&K was like depends on the situation. That I can let slide. Everything else is like ugh.
Red Dead.
Elden Ring or Sekiro?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
I haven't played Sekiro, but I'm gonna go Elden Ring.
Both.
Dark Souls or Bloodborne?
Bloodborne.
Guys, what should I answer? Dark Souls.
Or at least make
Dark Souls.
takes entertaining and not dividing.
No, I'm sorry,
fan
Bloodborne.
bases
Change my
around
mind.
it. We all play games for fun. Exactly.
Would you choose which children you love more? Oh.
Arcade shooters or tactical shooters?
Tactical shooters.
Tactical shooters.
Arcade shooters.
What?
Battle Royale or Team Deathmatch?
Battle Royale.
I used to have this sort of
Battle
typing
Royale.
EBIT horror in PC
Battle
when I was
Royale.
younger, and there was
Baldur's Gate 3
There was
or
one
Expedition
room
33?
with a dog that ran faster than I could
Baldur's
type
Gate 3.
leave because I was like 6 and I almost died.
BG3.
Fun.
Expedition 33.
That sounds fun.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Witcher 3 or Cyberpunk?
The Witcher 3.
The Witcher.
The greatest game of all time, The Witcher 3.
Yes. Both. Witcher.
Skyrim or Fallout?
Fallout.
Oh my.
More fun.
Fallout.
Okay, good.
Fallout.
Ooh. Morrowind.
It's all good.
And
Still have
Fallout New
flashbacks for
Vegas.
typing kick
Mass
bumping.
Effect or Dragon Age?
That's interesting.
Mass Effect.
That's interesting.
Dragon Age.
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect.
Outworld or Pokemon?
Pal World.
How World.
I don't want to get a cease and desist, so I'll say Pokemon.
Power World. Depends. Vaporeon? No, don't put that. Don't put that.
Super Mario or Sonic?
Super Mario.
Super Mario Bros.
Super Mario.
I know he is
Sonic.
not watching.
Destiny or Warframe?
Warframe.
Destiny 2.
Warframe.
Diablo or Path of
I
Exile?
can't get into.
Path of Exile.
No, I can
Diablo.
get into Warframe.
No, you
I'm
can
being
do
honest.
that to
Warframe
me.
has
What
its
the
moments.
hell? Oh man.
There's just so much in that game.
Diablo is my childhood. Path of Exile is a lot better now. Ah.
Breath of the Wild or Ocarina of Time?
Breath of the Wild.
Ooh. I have a long story about Ocarina of Time. Pass.
Ocarina of Time.
Roguelikes or Metroidvanias?
Roguelikes.
Roguelites.
Metroidvanias.
I love both.
Tried
Roguelike?
Warframe, couldn't get into
Metroidvanias?
it, but
Castlevania.
Achievement hunting?
See, that's the thing. That's the thing.
or
I like
multiple
that.
playthroughs?
If you were
Multiple
able to
playthroughs.
try it but couldn't get into it, but yet understand why people do,
Multiple playthroughs?
that's a solid take. And it's a solid
Achievement
thing to
hunting.
like be like,
People who only play
cool.
games for achievements are so low on my totem pole. What was this? Sorry.
Achievement hunting or multiple playthroughs.
Multiple playthroughs.
All right, you're good.
Sorry.
but it's the multiple playthroughs that lead to the achievements or trophies. It's like, yeah. All right, let's see what we can get into this. I will be probably mostly quiet than usual, when I watch this stuff because I try to focus this. You playing for achievements? I don't. Yeah, like I said, it's that whole thing about. I get it and all stuff. Like me personally, I am more of a playthrough person, but I understand the achievements. I can't believe this. 3 hours. I don't know how I feel about this. We'll see. This is a very long intro. Inside. What is the fog of this? Really? So loud?
Welcome to the New Game Plus Game Showcase, a new initiative built by creators who love games for what they are and not just the games that pay to have them promoted.
Yet you gave us
First
hot
up,
takes.
I'm Hunter. I'm normally behind the camera across gaming and esports events, and I work on social accounts for a ton of different games. My favorite games of all time would probably be RuneScape, Dark Souls 3, Leaf Green, Black Ops 2, and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Then we have Jake Lucky, kind of the point where gaming, esports, and streamers collide. If you look at him for too long, you'll start to wonder why his neck is so long, and if you look at his Twitter for too long, you'll wonder how much Nadeshot paid him to tweet clips of him every single day. His favorite games of all time are RuneScape, Age of Empires 2, Halo Infinite, Jumpstart Adventures with Bodley, and CSGO. Next up, Luality, a streamer with a hatred of spoons and a love for dragon sex. Lua probably has more personality than the rest of us in her pinky. Her favorite games include Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, XCOM 2, Witcher 3, and Mass Effect. Then, Luke Stevens, the mind of a critic with the heart of a fan. Luke breaks down games to their DNA and really looks at everything a game has to offer. Where our brains might be smooth, his is nice and wrinkled.
That's a lot of
His favorite
channels.
games of all time are Elden Ring, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Last of Us, Witcher 3, and Batman Arkham City. The fifth and final in-person member this year is I Am Rob. Rob came from the hell of making Call of Duty videos to the other hell of platinuming games. His favorite games of all time are Witcher 3, Halo 3, Batman Arkham City, X-Men Legends, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Not to be confused with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Then our final member is Blue Thunder, the man who is always spotlighting the next hidden gem before anyone else sees it coming. He just had a beautiful second child that luckily takes after his wife, so he's not here in person but was a major part of the showcase. His favorite games of all time are Resident Evil 2, Silent Hill 2, Elden Ring, The Last of Us, and Metal Gear Solid 2.
Together, we're pressing into how we think
swear,
game
mines are, like,
showcases
totally
should
different
feel.
from all theirs.
Conversational, authentic, and transparent.
We are here to celebrate what actually excites us. Incredible worlds, creative devs, and stories behind those games that we love so much.
There's no paid placements, no marketing scripts, just pure passion and excitement for what's coming up in gaming.
You can expect a wide range of content, including new trailers, fresh gameplay, developer interviews, behind-the-scenes content, and even some updates to your favorite games.
3.5.
So sit back, grab your
hours.
drink of choice, and let's dive into some of the games that we think
Got to get
are
water.
worth your attention. This is the New Game Plus Game Showcase.
Yeah, also, who picked the name?
New Game.
It's a work in progress.
Wait, what's the name of
New
it?
Game Plus shows the showcase.
New plus
of-
a game plus a
Why
showcase.
this?
Which
Why?
one was that?
Why?
'Cause I don't-
This should have been the
Well, we have
pre-show.
cups.
We
That's
already
awesome.
got the cup.
Sick,
This should have
man.
been the pre-show.
The cups are done,
We
dude.
might have to cut our losses.
There's no changing it up.
Cheers.
Perfect.
I like it.
And it's great.
It's 5 minutes.
All right, guys, so first up, we have 3 awesome games. We have Blind Descent coming from Owlcat. We have Deep Dish Dungeon coming from Behold and Raw Fury, as well as an exclusive interview with the Don Walker creative director.
Okay. I got some water. We're good. That's some good. We'll see what happens during the interviews. See how those work. I'll figure it out later.
Must be here somewhere.
This is like the original trailer. Oh, gameplay. Oh,
A
it's an
Dawnwalker
interview.
is like a special kind of being in our IP. It's neither a fully
Guys,
vampire
no.
nor a human. It's
No.
something in between. What this
There's no
means is
eating the
basically
child.
that you, as a Dawnwalker, you have underwent a transformation. You used to be human. And now, during the nighttime, you do get all the powers and the difficulties of being a vampire.
pro
So
children.
you get the blood
Okay.
craving and so on. But during daytime, these powers are dormant, and you still have to eat. You have all the weaknesses of a human, right? But
No,
also the
not even
perks
a
of
little.
being human. One of the things that is unique to humans in our IP is being able to use magic, so casting spells. The Dawnwalkers are not
That's-
very
Yo, what?
commonplace in that IP. They are very, very rare, rarer than vampires. So you as a Dawnwalker are kind of special in this regard. I would say the short-term things
Don't do too
that
much.
have immediate impact on the character development are you have to feed on, either animals or humans on blood suddenly, right? So you get these cravings, you get these like weird, eerie experiences that you didn't have as a human. Brancis and his clique of vampires actually caught him on his low point when he was vulnerable. He has used specific traits of vampiric blood in order to cement his position in the valley. Because, as you might imagine,
I need
having
to
a
see
bloodsucker as your
chat.
lord might be a tough sell. However,
Yeah.
if the alternative is getting sick and, you know, dying in thousands, actually it doesn't sound as such a horrible thing. He tries to kind of distort the religious beliefs in order to install himself as a savior of the valley. We do explore this in the game, so you might see, like, for example, statues erected to Brentsis, new iconography shown in the local cathedral, for example, and in the castle and so on. There is this whole cult of personality he builds around himself. So he basically shows himself as something better than the old order, right? We do have a mechanic tied to shrines that are erected across the valley, and Brentsis puts a lot of attention to kind of twist them to his own image, and these do have a functionality. When you play the game, we have assigned specific functions to them. Generally speaking, one of the things we wanted to achieve in this game is to have Brentsis being this active antagonist. You know, in a lot of games, the antagonists are out there to be defeated, but generally speaking,
Now the
you
video
have free
quality
reign,
doesn't show
you
it,
do your own thing, and it doesn't really
but it looks
change
nice.
much in how they approach you. In this game, what we wanted to do is to have Brentsis react to your actions as you complete different activities throughout the valley, as you maybe undermine his operations and so on.
It's kind of like his seal of approval.
Exactly. So it's like, so basically the way you can think about it is like the more you do in the valley, especially if you undermine Brentsis, you will gain notoriety. The more notorious you are, the more edicts Brentsis will pass in order to thwart you. So for example, he might send out more soldiers to patrol roads and villages, right? He might, in
It's
some
a nice
extreme
valley.
cases, maybe
It's a nice
even
valley
initiate
indeed.
a lockdown of the city to basically hamper your ways of traversing it, right? There is a number of these edicts we have prepared, and each of them is designed to kind of twist and change the general open world gameplay. It also has benefits. There are factions in the valley that dislike Brentsis, so the more notoriety you gain, the better standing with them you get, like they actually like that. There is a number of
dang it, Liam.
plot lines that you can follow if you want. You can also cut them off because we have added these systems where, for example, you might lose control over Cohen when he's a vampire if he was hungry. You might kill off some important NPCs and then the plot line just cuts off basically, or you get some alternative version. There are some ways to enter the castle in the open world. You can ignore these side plot lines. You can level up Cohen and decide to attack the castle on your own, right?
Out of curiosity, is there romance in the game?
Romance, yes, of course. We do have romance options, yes. We didn't delve deep into like with whom yet.
Okay.
And I'll leave that for the future to talk about. However, yes, you can expect to build relationships with characters. Like I said, there is like one main goal, very varying ways to get to it.
I love the
These different
Romans.
ways that you pick will impact,
These are Romans, though.
what happens with Veil Sangora in the end. And it's all up to you. And I think, I really recommend experimenting with this stuff and having fun with it.
First one, Blind Descent, Martian, survival, co-op, adventure.
Here's the thing. The one thing I like about the
Subnautica
interview
vibes.
is the fact that we
in
did
the
see new
best way
gameplay.
possible. I really like it, but like more with land exploration, which is really cool. I honestly can't wait to try it.
We're also going to see a lot of survival games today. So I think it all comes down to what the ultimate depth of the game is. But my first thought when I saw Martian land was No Man's Sky. That's obviously like maybe a reach for expectation-wise, and definitely a tall task. But when I heard Martian, I thought No Man's Sky-esque.
Like you said, a lot of survival games, but I think it's popular right now, and I'm hopeful that
I
a
don't
lot of
do a
them
lot
do
of
it right.
survivals.
But this is like going underneath Mars and has aliens.
If I'm being
It looks
honest.
interesting. I like it.
Oh,
I'm intrigued about the variety of ecosystems and aliens and plants that they bring up.
Well, like you said, it's popular right now.
Yeah, I
because
recommend
people like
Grounded.
them.
I have
And
played
so
Grounded
They
too.
share a lot of things
I did play a little
mechanically,
bit. I have
but
played a little
for
bit
me,
of Grounded
it's
too.
really the vibe,
It's-
and this one has a
I
vibe.
has been a little.
Yeah,
it has
it's
been
a good
interesting.
vibe.
That's why I wonder how that gameplay loop goes. Like, how far down can you go? What kind of biomes are you experiencing
Well,
as
like,
you continue
survival
to go
games
down?
are
And
not
like you said,
something
with
I do a
survivals, we
lot
see like a
out
lot of the
of.
same loops. So
Yeah,
how can they?
I don't have anything
Are
against
there
them.
trees you can cut?
Yeah,
And
again, we're gonna
I
talk
think
about it a
that
lot,
people
but if you
who
can
play
cut
them
a tree
are-
down, I'm
are-
good for
it's
survival
fascinating
games.
that people who play
I'm
those
like
kind of
the,
games.
At that point,
I'm the target audience.
I only
Then we have Deep
to
Dish,
do no
Deep Dish
surviving
Dungeon,
like
co-op
exactly.
dungeon crawling, a survival game, a handcrafted dungeon. You gather resources, cook to strengthen your party. You can party up with friends.
So we're
I'm excited
recapping
for
what
it.
we just
Speaking
saw.
of vibes, this
if I'm
thing
understanding
is
this right
a
now.
vibe. Like, I don't know what you'd call that art style, but whatever it is, like injected into my
Kind of retro,
veins.
right?
It's like pixel art, but then they also have like some voxel type tech for digging and breaking things. I don't know, whatever it is, I like
What's
it.
voxel type tech?
Okay, so when Luke said voxel, that's big word count number 1 of the day. When I see that, I'm very basic. I'm like, that's got to be some form of pixel art, which is definitely coming back. I feel like we're seeing more games kind of pull back that old view, that old like Minecraft pixel art, whatever you want to call it, voxel view.
I will be honest with you guys. While you guys are talking about pixels, I'm thinking I hope I can kill my teammates in funny ways. So sure, we'll go with the pixels.
Yeah, we were watching the trailer together, and the first thing she was saying was like, hey, how do I kill those I'm with?
I mean, I have to imagine it's a dungeon crawling game about cooking in the dungeon. Surely you're gonna be able to accidentally poison yourselves.
Do you think you can get like bad ingredients on purpose to murder your?
I bet you're.
my gosh,
I bet you're gonna have to
Why
find
are
out.
you going there?
So I wonder though, with it being like in dungeons, like if they're gonna have an in-game proximity chat kind of thing.
I hope
It's one of my favorite things in games like this when you're like walking through and you can hear your friend
Cook.
off in the distance. I wonder if they'll do something like
The Lethal Company
Yeah.
effects where they're like,
Especially
Looks like
you
a
can hear
game
them
that's meant to be
screaming.
Like
enjoyed
screaming.
with friends, though, for sure.
Yeah, like at
Me
least
and Jake gonna be in their edition in that dungeon.
like at least a co-op. He's across the world. I'm like, Rob, you there? There.
I'm dishing, baby. I'm dishing.
I'm dishing.
making
Can you bring the carrot?
What are you making?
Lasagna.
Yeah, no, but it looks very promising though.
Next up, we have Dawn Walker. Lua had a
Unshelled,
crazy
indeed.
conversation
Oh my
with the
gosh.
creative director.
No cooking of a
Single
child, no
player,
eating of a child.
Vampire RPG. It looks incredible. I think the 30-day system is awesome and, like you said, gives weight to things. And then the whole, like, there's so many decisions you can make.
What I find really interesting about the game is that Cohen, the protagonist, is half vampire, half man. And even though like all of that sounds great by itself, there's even another layer where at night, of course, he can use vampiric abilities that he doesn't get to use during the daytime. His combat's different. He's not using a sword, he's using claws. And then in the daytime, of course, there's NPCs walking around and there's, you know, maybe patrols going around that aren't there at night, but then there's different ones at night. So
And you can use magic as human. You can use magic as a vampire.
Yes.
This
and
feels like a
basically what they're trying to do
Well, so what?
is to
So they're
not just
breaking
have
into
the time be an
segments.
element of
So
certain
far we had
actions
3
to take it
games.
forward, but also
They talked about
whether
what they
you're playing
are.
day
They
or
showed
night,
the 3
quest lines
games.
play out
With the
completely
last one having an
differently, 'cause
interview,
people are
and
in
now they're
different
doing
spots,
a
their behaviors are
reaction
different,
to
this
those
person may be
games.
asleep, so you can't
And
talk
it
to
feels
them.
all
Different
pre-recorded.
abilities.
Exactly.
Well, The Witcher 3 is my personal favorite game of all time. So, and this is former Witcher 3 developers working on this, and so much of that charm was prevalent there.
The music.
The music,
what are
just
we
that
doing
soundtrack
here?
in the short little snippet we saw there, I felt.
And,
I love that
this
simple
is like,
separation
here's
between
the
day and
here's
night
my
and
thing
different
about
things
this.
coming with your
If
character.
this
That's gotta be like the
repeats
coolest part.
itself,
Yeah, because it's got to probably
For
tailor to your
3.5
gameplay.
for the
Like,
next
I got to wait to make this choice
hour,
during the nighttime versus
2,
during the
3
daytime where I can use certain abilities or
pretty much the next 3 hours.
different combat styles. I love that part of it.
And all
And
that
so I can
stuff.
foresee
It's
a
gonna be
run-through, like,
very
you know,
interesting of
play
how this
style,
lasts.
where you're playing only at night for missions.
got these
you're
QR
just
codes.
doing stealthy vampire stuff, and you're eating people, or you're drinking blood rather, not eating people. I don't know, maybe it's the way. But
Whatever
you know,
you want.
the dark run through versus like
It's
the light
very
run through in
interesting.
the daytime, the vegan run through. The vegan run through. Which has one of those vegan.
Vegan sped run, Don Walker.
Yeah, vegan achievement.
Sponsored by Beyond Meat. The fact
Because
that they
imagine
revealed a
in their
little bit about
convo
more
if they
brings
talked
us to
about eating
Overboard is
children
also a system. He really
that
talks a
can't
lot
go
about
out.
systems that
That-
they have not spoke on
Did
yet
he say
at all,
eating?
and
Well,
didn't
the-
with us either.
Like the edicts.
With
As
the
you go
was
around the
Blood of the
world,
Dawn Walker,
trying
it is-
to find
it
your
does deal with
information, you can
vampires.
side with different people, and depending on what you do, you can make the Brentis
So there is that.
quite upset. So he can start making laws and rules to stop you from progressing in a certain way.
I also like that Brensis as an antagonist is not just like pure evil, doing all sorts of horrible stuff. Like he is helping the people in some ways in order to, you know, get control of them, but he's like curing them of the plague. Like he offers them something they
what
aren't
you
getting
happen to.
elsewhere. So he's doing
Not
bad
wrong,
stuff,
Jay.
but there's nuance.
And
I was
that
just
typically
telling-
makes
I was
for
just telling
really good
everyone here.
stories.
Harder choices to be made.
Perspective.
I was just telling there, like, this is literally
Never
like a
clear-cut,
pre-show,
good or bad.
Yeah, 'cause
show,
I bet you there's gonna be a moment
post-show.
where it's
It's
like
one
you
of
could
the
stop it,
charms.
like his
in
influence in an
bite-sized
area. That
segments.
means they're gonna die of the plague. So
But
it's
the
like you let
post-show
the
is
bad
taking
guy
too
do
much
the
longer
thing that you were trying to stop him
than
to
the
do,
games
or-
that got shown
And it's also about
in the interview.
perspective. these people were
And the
both
thing was,
very
with the
tyrannical
interview,
leader
it wasn't the
before,
full interview.
So
It was just more of a
even
snippet.
though Brent is a vampire to them, he may as
it's
well
worth it.
And all that stuff.
be a savior, right?
All right, new stuff. Prologue way back.
For the next
before I
section, we
approach
have
Shadows.
3, again, I'm going to have to not say incredible games every single time, but we have Prologue, Go Way Back from Player Unknown,
Should've opened with bigger
Beautiful Light
games.
from Deep
It's-
Worlds, and Project Shadowglass from Starhelm Studios.
So far, we had the pregame segment. Now we have the actual segment of showing the stuff.
It's just an infinite map generator with some game loops on top of it. So you have a survival loop, which is pretty hard. Get to the weather tower, we give you a map and a compass and not much else. Some basic survival mechanics, and it's a game against
Just
yourself
post the
more than
trailers on
anything else,
YouTube.
Kind of the decisions you make. Then we also have just objective survive, which is just see how long you can last in the world, and free roam for those that just like a hike. The differentiator, or the thing that makes a difference, is that we can generate essentially infinite maps of 8x8 scale. Like, we have a map editor in the game and stuff like that, but we want to be able to give you the ability to give a deep link to someone. So I can just send you like a HTTP link that starts up the game, loads a map and a seed, and I can share stuff I've built with you with just a link, right? So it's kind of, Go Way Back is just, it's a technological experiment that, or proving some technology we've developed. It's no longer an experiment, it's in production, so it works. But it's also going back to my love of survival games and those kind of emergent, just, I'm not giving anyone missions to do, it's just get there, and how you get there is fully up to you.
This is a
Basically,
map
if you play
generator,
the same seed,
if I heard that correctly?
you get the same weather, I'm pretty sure you get the same cabin layout, and you maybe get the same loot. So you and
Shiki
4
or
friends
what?
could technically race to the weather tower and see who gets there first, because you have the same conditions. And while we don't have multiplayer yet, you have this kind of asynchronous multiplayer that, as long as you can share the seed with people. And I thought, wouldn't that be a cool thing for events where you have 16 streamers and see how long they can survive in objective survive mode, right? Or see who can race to the weather tower quickest, or we can set up the weather just to get progressively colder and see who lasts the longest. There's a weather tower on top of one of the higher points on the map. It's generally the other side of the map. We do have prompts now that tell you what to do in the world. But yeah, there's some simple survival mechanics. Keep yourself warm, keep yourself dry, light fires, board up windows, keep your body in a good temperature, get across the map. And we don't tell you where you are on the map, except when you find a new map in the world and it updates your position, you're left for basic navigation. It's kind of set in the 80s, so you don't have digital GPS, stuff like that. I want to make sure that the worlds we're generating have enough depth that when we add story and mission and quest-based content, that the worlds feel like coherent and real enough that it makes sense. Like, I want to have pathing, I want to have like infrastructure, like telephone lines, this kind of stuff, so the cabins aren't just random cabins in the forest, that there seems to be some, like, you know, logical placement of stuff in the world. And once we have those in, then we can more easily go, well, okay, you need to connect all the substations to bring power to the weather tower so you can get a message or go and do various things. Right now, there's a bunch of cabins and there's survival mechanics, but we want to add a lot more depth to the environment. Preface is a tech demo. That I always said I wanted
they
to
have
release a
like
free tech
cocaine bear
demo
deals.
of the engine we're building, and that's what Preface is. And the kind of poetic thing is that my last game
Oh
will be
man,
Preface,
I'm
because
using
it'll
that
just be a
in a
visualization of what's
TikTok.
possible with our engine at that time. And it's more like Minecraft Survival, that it's an example of what you can do with the engine, and it'll be open source and free for everyone, so you can do whatever you want.
I'll
So
just
having
block
this
cover
kind
your
of
name.
digital space, like an internet in 3D, I don't see anyone working towards that. I see small bubbles, but I don't see anyone really trying to do Earth-scale terrain with millions of people. And that's kind of the bigger goal, and that's why we've broken it down into 3 games. The aim is that you should be able to do anything from 10 by 10 to 100 by 100 with 5v5 or 100v100 relatively easily and not have any problems. We will build maybe an Earth-scale terrain, maybe smaller, with hopefully a network layer that supports millions of people. That will be kind of a survival civilization MMO type game. But again, that's just one layer of the world. Like, I want you to be able to just jump around the world and see what's happening, because you should be able to, like, I think if you want to interact with the world, there should be a layer of survival you have to do, or a layer of gameplay in order to kind of leave your impression on the world.
See, the Phil interview Beautiful Light. Interesting.
In a world where pixels were once only 2D, now they're 3D.
Oh, I'm just with you. I'm Dominic John, the dev behind Project Shadowglass, a 3D pixelated RPG that's a love letter to classic immersive sims like Thief and
Not gonna lie, this looks kind of cool.
This video is a series of prototype rooms that I've been working on some of the core systems in. No art, no assets will be generated by AI. This is all human-made, hand-placed, made by me and artists like me.
Thank you for the non-AI notice disclosure.
If you have headphones, I would highly suggest wearing them. All the audio in Project Shadowglass is going to be 3D, and not just 3D, but simulated.
Interesting.
The music emanating from this orb is going into the left ear and the right ear, but as I change the size of the space, you can hear the character of the sounds change. And if we go around the wall, we can still hear it coming from the opening in each ear.
You probably couldn't tell, but yeah, that actually did work. Of what he was trying to explain. I will say this is very impressive for what it is and what it's trying to do.
I actually launched the Shadowglass Discord today, so if you have any ideas or suggestions or just want to follow along, feel free to wishlist Project Shadowglass on Steam. I hope you enjoyed this sneak peek on how things are coming along. Thank you so much, all the crew at New Game Plus, for having me. Be well, my friends.
Demo coming later this year.
To start with, Prologue Go Way Back, another survival game that we're
Get
seeing. and we were
onto that
talking,
Discord.
It's a bare bones
Exactly.
survival
If
game
you know
where
what
there
your
is no
suggestion would
common
be.
enemy.
Hold on,
Your enemy
before-
is the elements, where you just have to try and survive and make it to that point. So
Before
if you
you
guys don't
send
know
it to
Brennan
them,
Green,
what
he
is
not
the
only was
su-
behind
what is
the
that
Battle
suggestion?
Royale mode of H1Z1,
If it's
which
eating
we
kids,
talked a long time
stop.
about, he was also the creator of PUBG. So people have a lot of faith in him and what he calls his 10-year plan. And he talks about his ultimate goal being he
And all that
wants
stuff.
1 million players on a server.
Ha!
He
It
wants
was
the
eating kids.
internet to be made 3D and for all of us to actually truly be able to play together. Which I know is a crazy transition from us talking about a survival game.
Single-player survival game?
Like we want to cover their survival game because I love survival games, and they're going to be branching out in this game for the next few years until they have multiplayer, until they have weapons, and they have PvE and animals to fight against. But it's also part of a much
Also,
bigger picture.
story. He mentioned they will be adding also a story to the
Things to
world.
do, yeah.
Yes.
That's got to be like the most ambitious, one of the most ambitious projects out there right now.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy.
Well,
to
it's
think
ambitious,
about.
but how long
He's
can
like,
it
yeah, I
last?
want like millions of players to be
To people.
playing together on like a gigantic map, but you know, not to undersell it.
Shoot for the stars, brother. Shoot for the stars.
No one's done that yet.
Next game we talked about was Beautiful Light by Deep Worlds SA. That's a PvPvE tactical extraction shooter. There are 6 3-person squads, and there's also a lot
I should
of
keep all of
anomalies and monsters and stuff that we saw in it.
Child Leader 3D
Looks
audio,
like I'm gonna be
pixels,
scared.
microtransactions. I can smell the money coming in. This
I mean, I
guy.
appreciated that it was very
Maybe a
immersive.
lot. Yeah,
Like, you
exactly.
had the
And maybe
sort
a
of
lawsuit.
Pip-Boy looking thing over there.
Yeah.
And speaking of big words,
Don't
I actually
expect
looked up what
microtransactions,
that's
though.
called. It's called diegetic UI.
Oh, did you say diegetic?
Diegetic.
Thinking the same.
Diegetic. Write that one
We're
down.
all
Write that one
thinking
down.
of that word.
But it's really, really cool in games like this, especially because it's like hyper immersive. There's no UI popping up being like, oh, attack incoming. It's just no, you are in the moment, you're in the game. Listen around you, look
Go
at the thing
kitty.
on the character itself. I love that.
Who's
So you can play as a
microtransactions?
monster,
Yeah.
or as
Oh, really?
You can play both.
or as the soldier? Is there controller support?
I don't know. Great question.
Duality, she just threw up in her mouth.
I have nothing against controllers, but I believe there's a right time for mouse and keyboard and a right time for keyboards. And he believes that the right time for a controller is when you're playing shooter games. It's obviously better than mouse and keyboard is better for that. But not for him.
I would edit my own YouTube videos with a controller.
Yeah, he said that earlier.
That's how passionate.
Which is a patently insane thing to say.
Yeah, then we have Project Shadow Glass.
Voxel art. I really enjoyed the
This is Starhelm Studios. It's an immersive sim. We've all seen it. I think it went viral from the
directed?
AI post.
Oh my
There's like
gosh.
an AI post that looked
I
just
see what
like
you're
it, and then
going
he
with
was like,
that
"I'm
one.
making a game like this. It's not AI."
I looked up the video because he has a YouTube channel where you can actually see kind of behind the scenes. And when that clip of the AI generated art went viral, he saw it and thought like, I didn't think anybody wanted this. I was just like, it was a fun side project. And then he saw people wanted it and thought it looked awesome, and he put it out, but it's real.
Well, we talked about it earlier. There's a desire for stuff like that. The more simplicity, kind of retro feel.
It feels like the game is still like learning what it wants to be. Like he's working on the graphics, the basics, the music, and as like they have a bow and an arrow, and hopefully as they work on the project, they start feeling what it will grow to be, what kind of game it will develop itself into.
Yeah, my understanding is right now it is just Project Shadow Glass.
Wind!
It's going to
The wind
eventually
is here.
become like
How
a
we doing,
video game,
homie?
but right now it's
Welcome,
just
welcome.
kind of proof of concept that the art works, the crazy math behind it works, and like it can grow to a game, but it's certainly very.
Well, I wish him nothing but success.
Yeah, he seems like
because it seems like I
awesome
just
dude.
love a good passion project. You can tell there's a lot of heart in that.
And I feel like I initially, like everyone else, why I went so viral, I got attached to that same artwork, but then when he further explains and shows you some concepts that you weren't expecting out of a game with that artwork or that design, when he's showing that you said the R6 lean in there. And
that threw me off. The little bow
it's like,
behind. I was
whoa.
like, is that a Rainbow Six
You threw that,
Siege?
you threw that in there, and then of course they got the wall grapple, and then with the whole audio design as well. I mean, I'm definitely.
I remember seeing that clip that went viral. I remember seeing it. I was like, wow, that looks incredible. Like walking up to the castle.
This section we have 3 what I would consider kind of sci-fi games a little bit, but we have Aphelion from Don't Nod.
Figure out of all
which
3
we have an
chats which one is your
incredible look
favorite.
behind the
No,
scenes of
no,
the music
we're not
with
picking
the
favorites here.
composers
We just had a
themselves,
discussion
as well
about
as the
the
Expanse Osiris
with
Reborn
this or
from
that.
Owlcat.
I
You're
treat
familiar
all my
with the
chat the
Expanse.
same.
Super exciting, and also Distant Shores, Brittany.
What games? No. We're 30s. Are you just saying that?
Amin Bouafa. I'm a film music composer, and I am the composer for Aphelion, the video game. I remember having a message from Talal saying that he loved the score of Summit of the Gods, and they are working in a new video game, and inviting me to come to the studio and to meet the team.
We are the problem
It was
child.
very important for me to understand how.
I will say
music
that
would
I
be
can't agree with that. You so
interactive.
far have been the
So
problem
how
child.
to compose, how to write music
out
that
of the
would be
3.
interactive, with models, with stems, with separating the different elements, and at the same time, how could the music, how the structure of the music would.
I will say that.
would be an evolving structure. It was very important for me first to have the story of Ariane and Thomas, like that. The log line is the story, both of them. So there is a theme
When
that
I am
conveys
doing
this
good.
emotional.
We are
relationship,
chilling, watching out, checking out the
between them.
showcase,
and then the
trying to get a
aspect
vibe of
the
it.
music. I mean,
Hopefully
for
it's not that
me,
bad.
It was very important first to
I wish
feel
there were
the
italics.
cold in the music, to feel the wind.
Y'all guys-
to feel
you guys are
the-
funny.
The ice.
You guys, it's been fun. You
It's
made
an
this
instrument
fun.
that had been invented by the Bachet brothers in the mid 20th century. For me, it looks like an alien instrument. When you see it, cannot even predict that it's a musical instrument. To play the instrument, you need to get your hands in water, and then rub.
You said you like
crystal
Romans
buttons
earlier.
that
I
are
think he
in
meant.
this
I think that's something else.
metal structure could convey this frozen identity of the score, and at the same time having this magical sense of in the score.
Too much.
There is a sacred feeling also to this planet. It's a huge planet, but I wanted to get this huge instrument and that it could also play very soft. The organ has a lot of sounds. It could be very soft, it could be very aggressive, it could be large, it could be intimate. For me, it's the planet. The planet could be very welcoming and suddenly very, how to say, very dangerous and very sacred at the same time. So I thought that the organ could be this, could give this majestuous feeling to the score. I'm so happy to write the music for Aphelion. It's the first time for me to write a video game score, and it's a lot of fun and a lot of passion.
Oh. That's a Game Pass game. I'm telling you, that up this is getting an interview?
We had some discussions at the early stages of the production, to be honest, whether to go fully class system or something else. And again, we started with sitting down and lining up what are possible ways that the player might perceive the game, the power fantasies, how he can express himself in combat.
I don't mind it.
He might want to be a sniper, he might want to be a hacker, maybe an engineer, something else. As we designed those play styles,
it's more of the people around me if they want it or not. If they want it on the pizza, that's fine with me. I'll eat it. If they don't, that's also.
Experiment with what he
I'm just a regular pepperoni guy.
For example, when he finds a neat shoulder
just a pepperoni pizza and I'm good.
Shown in the announcement trailer, even if he's a sniper, he might want to experiment with that. Why not? It fits the universe, it fits the playstyle. He might want to see how it works, and so we decided why not to give him the possibility to do that. That was the idea behind the playstyle. So playstyle is basically the starting preset that kind of gently guides you towards the certain direction of your power fantasy of how you play the game. At some point, the player will need to commit to his choices. So again, it's an important part of the choices system, you know. If you just can switch everything on the fly, that kind of makes your choices less important. So at some point you need to stick to particular guns, particular gadgets, and you just build around them. We give you some time to experiment, but you will need to commit. During the character creation, you will have to choose between three major factions, your origin. So you'll be either Belter or Earther or Martian.
I get cheeseless pizzas.
You can choose your body type.
So you will be playing as a Pinkwater mercenary with different type of origin that you would create. You will have your sibling with the same identical one. They will look a little bit different because they're their own person. They have their own personality.
Banana on
These
pizzas
events are
I
set
don't think I've ever
during the
seen
first three
pizza
books.
on
I think you will start on Iris and witness.
I still haven't seen that.
Basically,
I don't think I've ever seen
the events from a different
banana on a
angle.
pizza.
And
Then you must be allergic
this
to
part
flavor
will be
bubble.
to some degree shown in your character creation.
Every companion should
What are
belong
your thoughts on
somewhere in the
eating?
universe, and they have
I mean, if it's
their
Jey
own,
Uso, then cool.
background.
In
consisting
Sweden,
of,
they have
their
curry sauce,
faction
peanuts,
and
and
their
banana on
acquaintance.
pizza.
They some
Really?
background story, their their own struggles. All this stuff will influence how
Very
they
interesting.
perceive the situations player encounters. So in every major plot event, they will have their opinions. They might hint you towards some decisions. They might provide you some assistance, or maybe even some crucial contacts to go for help, for advice, for military support.
Like I said, I don't think I've
Of
had.
course, they will have their own
I don't think I've ever
stories,
seen
their
that.
own
I think
struggles,
curry
and,
sauce sounds.
you can,
Peanuts, I believe
choose
I've
to
either
help
heard or
them,
seen
maybe
it.
to ignore
Curry
their
sauce, maybe.
stories, totally depending on how you want to be invested in this particular campaign.
Banana, crispy
The
bacon,
choices you make
caramelized
from
onions,
those
blue cheese,
companions
garlic,
also
and
will
blue
matter
cheese.
in long term.
Yep, some of
Wait,
them will have
blue cheese,
romances,
garlic, and blue
you can
cheese
see on our
on pizza?
background companions.
how does that- wait,
we cannot
what?
say who is going
Chili?
to have romance, but there will definitely be romance in our
Interesting.
It's a small crew on the small ship. You know, the Expanse. It's a universe where everyone flies in very
Chili
tight
sounds
spaces for a very long time. So there is a dynamics in the crew as well. We have a few layers of the combat system. First of all, it's obviously the gunplay. A few classes of weapons that you can use, and mostly you do it from the covers. So it's a cover-based gunplay game. And the second layer of the combat system is that's your abilities. That they might be more like
Pretty
offensive
much, yeah,
ones,
that's
maybe
true.
something like a grenade or a shoulder cannon, or maybe something more defensive like a shield, or maybe a protective drone. A lot of gadgets that you can choose from depending on your play style. And as Julia mentioned, there are some play styles that are mostly focused on using your gadgets rather than using your weapons. Third layer, but still very important, that's obviously your companions. They have their impact on the combat. They have what we call combat opportunities. That's particular situations when you can order your companion to use an exploit in the arena, in the environment, to gain a certain advantage in combat. We decided against the management, the gameplay part of the survival stuff. So you won't be counting your gallons of reaction mass or how much water you need to recycle before it dries out, nothing like that. But still, the Expanse universe is very dangerous. So in terms of narrative, the survival will be a part of the game. You will have a tremendous enemy. You will have a lot of very dangerous situations that you will have to get out somehow. There will be a lot of survival in terms of your player experience, just not as a particular mechanic. You will be able to fly around the solar system. You will be able to visit various planets. We mentioned it before that we have Luna, Mars, Ceres, Io, and some other cool places to visit. And some of those places will be like major social hubs where you can just walk around, meet other people, drink at the bar, shop for better equipment and stuff like that. So you will have plenty of places to go and to visit and to look at. The Expanse universe is cruel, and some characters might die because of your choices. Stay tuned for more. We will show more very soon. Have something cooking. I hope you will like it.
Expanse is something I'm looking forward to because it's. I've heard a lot of like reminders of like Mass Effect, which is like one of my favorite franchises. So it's like I'm interested. The interview stuff just gets to me.
Stay alert.
Good one.
Hey, Aaron, it's Thomas. You know, your brother. You said you would visit me here, but you never did. Look, bygones be bygones. Just find me in the West Zone. I'll be waiting. Sometimes I dream about what's under the ocean. A distant shore, waiting to be explored.
there is eating in some per se, but it's not eating children at least. I can get behind this. Okay. Interesting. Mirror's Edge vibes? Good. I can get down with that. Spence, we know for sure. You don't know who Beckham is, Liam? Mr. David Beckham?
Slipping boats on the faucet. Such a peaceful
Okay, I kind of get the grasp of this game, but I feel like this trailer's running a little too long.
wonderful way to be free.
I'm okay. This is
Let's start with. I feel
I'm-
like
My
I'm
understanding is it's a
decent
dual
on the
protagonist game,
football.
so you'll actually be swapping back and forth as they sort of work together. And I'm
That
sure
makes
there's parts
sense
where you're
now that that
separated,
game
parts where
was-
maybe you're together, working together.
Very
to get out of it.
emotional story.
There's so
that
much
world.
potential for stories like that. The dual protagonists seeing
feel
it
like
converge in
It
the
looks
end.
like it would be
You
a
know it's
good
going to
puzzle
be
game
an
for them.
emotional game, especially
It
when
really
there's
depends
so
on
much
like how
emphasis
like
in the music. I feel like
how
music is a
how they're
tool to
formed and how you have to like,
catalyst
put them together.
emotions. So it's
Because
definitely
it's a lot
We
of
were actually talking about that earlier today. Music and
what's that
video,
game?
and not just video games and
like chained together.
good.
That
good
game,
music
where it's
changes
like you're
a
jumping
game
to stuff to
from
stuff,
a
but
game
there's
being
like
a
but
good
there's
game
more of a
to
puzzle
memorable-
aspect to
a
it.
game that will stick with you.
Of like
no
trying
matter
to get
what.
through.
And
So
Donut
it's
has a
gonna be
pretty
interesting.
storied background when it comes to narrative games, whether it's like Life is Strange or like one of my old school favorites, Vampire. Like they try different stuff, weird stuff even sometimes, and so this is exciting to see them doing something
They were
different.
using the super alien music instrument. So
Yeah. What was it called? Is that
a crystal bachette.
Crystal Bachette.
Oh, you're talking about the hand wedding one?
Yeah.
You're really into this hand. Right? That's like the only
I
thing
kind
you
of want
took
to
away.
try it, honestly.
I mean,
How do you discover that technique of like, oh, that makes that, yes.
that this is an award-winning composer of the Summit of the Gods as well. So what I find super impressive is just I feel like people sleep on music so much in games, and then you see behind the scenes of this entire, like, they're in a famous church in Paris playing the organ.
Actually has been a blast to see
I'm gonna say Domino's only because of the fact because we just got a Papa John's.
It's one of those things when it's working. A lot of time you don't.
I've only had it like a couple times, so I can't give it a fair assessment.
Oh, you're thinking about?
You don't really think about it. But then when it's exceptional, like an exhibition or like the Witcher vibes, then
like.
You
But
really
if I had to like
remember
pick
it. But a lot of the games you play,
I would
probably
go
look
to
up the
Domino's.
soundtrack, even though the game is pretty good.
Sounds good.
Ironically, my Spotify Wrapped this year was like mostly video game scores. I think there's often correlation though whenever a developer does take the music.
I think we've done like
seriously
3 sessions of
in a
these.
game, it often reflects in
And we're about to be an hour
reflects
in.
in every other. I mean, think about it. All the games that have like you think about the games with the best scores ever, like you just said, The Witcher 3 or whatever. I mean, it correlates to everything else, every other aspect of the game they take.
I don't know why are you doing
Another
cheeseless
sci-fi game
pizza.
that is probably one of the most anticipated sci-fi games for a very long time is The Expanse: Osiris Reborn, which is from Owlcat as well. It is a third-person action RPG, obviously set in the Expanse universe.
The Expanse is a book and it's
Please
a
say
show,
dead serious.
so they're taking inspiration from both.
Why
but
do
at the
you
same
not
time,
eat
it doesn't
cheese, though?
require
Are you
previous
allergic?
knowledge
Is it
of
like
either,
a
for you to
allergic
be able to enjoy
reaction
this.
to it or something
In
like
this
that?
game,
Are
you're
you
going
lactose
to
intolerant,
be
my
living
good
more
friend?
or less through what happens in the
My
show.
good sir?
However, from a different perspective, from a different side, with your own group of people, with your own environment, that you get to make your own choices.
I think an important thing to frame all of the Expanse game with is
not a
that
cow
coming from
lover?
Owlcat, they are a studio that did like Rogue Trader, for example. Their bread and butter
Cheese,
is
like, I don't like
intense,
I'm trying to
gritty
think.
narratives
Because
with
I like cheese. I'm a
unbelievable
big cheese
levels of
person.
roleplay depth and choice and consequence.
cheese on my stuff, I'm
complex
good.
systems
I want
that
it.
interweave. And
Where's my
so
Discord?
seeing them go into this, which is of course a third-person cover-based shooter
No,
with
don't
many
move.
RPG mechanics. It's a different road, and I asked him about that in our interview, and was like, "How did this happen?" Because typically they do sort of an isometric thing, and they just said when we decided we wanted to tackle the Expanse, it required that cinematic flair, and that's what they tackled, and they're doing a phenomenal job. I mean, the game looks beautiful.
It looks very interesting to me. It looks kind of like Dead Space meets Gears of War,
It's
kind
more
of
like Mass
gameplay-wise. It
Effect,
did. Or, yeah, Mass Effect as well.
The choice and the reputation you have with your companions will change, because your companions, they told us, will disagree with some of the stuff you do. They'll get upset or
They will have their
pissed
own
about it.
opinions.
They'll have their own opinions, and they also, one interesting tidbit they mentioned was that when you are making choices in the game, they're not necessarily going to tell you if that
Exactly.
was a big
It's not
moment.
icky.
If that, what you just said to them, is going to seriously affect this thing over
How is it
here.
like? How is it like
will,
Gears? I
but
think
that's
it's
all
like.
behind the
I think
scenes.
it's the third
Their
person
game
view
was
of it.
Distant Shore, Brittany. This is what
I think
went
that's why.
viral as almost a portal with magnets.
Me, it's like
and
I see
think
more
it
of the
looks
Mass
like
Effect
a lot
vibes
of
to
fun.
it. than
It's
I
such
do
a
see
unique
Gears.
concept. I could see it being big time.
You know,
Like,
it's one of
really
those
is.
games like you didn't know you wanted, but then you see it, you're like, oh, that looks like it
Who
tickles
doesn't
a
like
part of my brain.
magnets?
Yeah.
Like we've seen
very
versions of it before, but with everything it combines, because it makes everyone think of a different game when you see it. Because we've heard Half-Life, we've heard Portal. I thought of Only Up during some parts of it.
Yeah, I had
and,
Only Up.
and other
It
puzzles.
mirrors
There we go.
Edge a little
Only
bit
Up.
with like
Yeah.
the parkouring while moving stuff.
See, it makes us think of so many different things at once. So I think it's gonna do.
Just
really
watching some of that gameplay, I could see the rage already.
well. Oh,
Yeah, they were talking
the
about
boss- The
Expanse.
boss.
Oh yeah,
Not
that-
happening.
They were.
Well, and I
They're not
think it's
talking about
also
the,
really cool that they have boss mechanics, because like
the last
you can
game,
tell
yeah.
it started with the idea of using magnets to like manipulate the environment, but then
So
they're
we
like,
posted
okay, well,
on
we
what?
could
We
raise the
posted on what,
stakes, take it up a
12
notch
total,
with these
12
boss fights that are
games? There's 3
organic
sessions.
in the space. And
It
don't
also mixes up because it's not just a puzzle game, so there is more to
Yeah.
it and more that you.
Yeah, there's a world that he even showed as well.
It's more than just a puzzle game. Like there's a narrative behind it.
Exactly. Like they could have just stopped with the puzzle game. I think a lot of people would have been perfectly happy with that. But then they go and build on that with a story, boss fights, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, if it's not just reach a destination or do a final thing, but it's actually a narrative, like you said, that's really cool.
I think it's one to keep an eye on. Yeah.
Yeah, 9 games. There's 9 games in the show so far. Avowed and Grounded
Next
are
up, we have
already
2
out.
very exciting updates coming from Obsidian, that being some updates for Avowed as well as Grounded 2. We also got exclusive time with them and had some interviews, which were very exciting.
These guys.
Avowed is a Obsidian first-person action RPG set in the world of Pillars of Eternity, where the player plays as an envoy sent by the Emperor of Adir to the living lands to
No, this is
investigate
Avowed,
a
not
mysterious
Grounded.
plague that's kind of spreading throughout the lands, causing chaos, and you play as the envoy trying to figure out what's kind of going on down there. Do things that affect it in positive ways, negative ways, or in between type of ways, with that type of choice and consequence. In terms of, the post-launch things we've been supporting on it, like we've gotten a bunch of abilities added to the Ranger and Fighter trees to kind of more fill it out comparatively to the wizard tree. Aspects about it that are like arachnophobia mode, that was like a big community requested feature, as well as, changes to progression, improvements there, gear
Everything they're going to
improvements,
talk about is
and
already
as well as
on the
bug
Steam page.
fixes
So
and crash
first, you
fixes.
gotta
And
be
you can
kidding
play
me.
now.
Every single game is on the Steam page?
Yeah, we've added different species.
Yeah.
The Amauin, Orlins, and Dwarves are
I mean,
now
it is already
a lot of
pre
our
owned. There's already
decisions we
games that have
make
already
are
been announced.
revolving around the player community, so we work, really closely with our community.
But the
management
majority of
team.
some of these
So,
games
we
are
get
like
a
some-
spreadsheet,
most people probably
kind of
don't
see
even know.
what the things that are bubbling to the top. Like an example, like quarterstaff was something where just we wanted to feel like more like a wizard, right? That kind of wizardy vibe, as well as playing as Orlins. Like I think players just were bummed that we didn't include that in the base game. So I mean, it really comes down to like the time and what the community wants, and that's kind of how we decide to go about it. Yeah.
We notice like players really role play their characters in the game, so we always want to give them as many options as we can to like customize their features or character, to kind of have this fantasy in this world as they journey through the story. We just wanted to give them as many possible options as they can to really make the character they want to make, and just make it just their own. Stuff like all the playable races, we discussed it early on in Avowed. It's something to both previous Pillars games had. It's a lot of work and a difficult thing to really nail down, especially in Avowed with its parkour systems and its combat mechanics and all the weapon types and stuff like that in the game. Our different races are different sizes, they're different shapes, they're a very unique game experience when you play as each one of them in a first-person game specifically.
Are we
So it
getting
was
different
something like
races
new
in
to
Avowed?
wrangle for Avowed. We had no time to finish it as we're making Avowed, and now we can give it to the players, so it's a more rounded experience compared to the original Pillars games. It should be a whole new way to play the game. If you pick an Orlin or an Amawa, it makes you feel completely different in the world, especially if you use third person or first person. It changes it again, how you feel and present in this game, so it's pretty awesome that we can finally bring that.
New Game Plus allows the player to bring over all their abilities, all their
Oh, knock,
equipable
knock. I mean,
gear.
who's there,
It
Lee?
does reset it back to level 1, so it's not like
I'll
you're
go with the flow.
just outright OP basically. But you'll have the end game gear with all its like enchants to be able to just start the new game, as well as we have like modifiers on enemies that kind of either make them more resistant to some of the elemental types.
Oh
or,
God, I already don't. I already don't like where this is
more
going.
resistance to being stun locked or hit reacted. And that kind of gets sprinkled in kind of somewhat randomly throughout that New Game Plus experience to kind of get that added challenge, but also let the player still feel somewhat like they're accumulating their abilities over the course of multiple playthroughs. So.
We
I will say, if you've not Avowed is pretty good.
photos
I
of
have
their
not got
envoys,
far into
but
it,
it's very
but
difficult
I've
in
enjoyed
the
what I've
game.
played.
You have to get the camera just right to get a certain distance from the character, or capture the shot in a conversation
I think
when you
they're
see your
different-
character. So this
they're
allows you to
different
really
races, actually.
get into it and capture
PG,
some
I
awesome
promise. It
shots
better
or
be.
some
It
scary
better be.
shots, depending which way you're going.
Little old lady
Super
who
excited to announce that Avowed's finally going to come out to PS5. Pre-orders are going to be live today. Keep an eye out on our socials, and we'll announce when the store page is open.
Oh, it's coming to PS5. Cool. Now, Grounded 2.
Grounded 2 is a survival game. It is set in a gigantic city park. You play as a teenager who has been shrunken to roughly the size of
I
an
didn't know
ant,
you could yodel.
and you just have to survive in this environment with,
Makes
insects
sense.
that are the size of a bus,
not bad.
and figuring out how to eat and get some water and fight those bugs and craft new materials and new weapons. As you go and gain in power and get over those initial survival challenges, you can sort of get into the story of what has really happened in this park. A number of huge updates planned for the park. This is the first big content update that we have. We've been calling it the Winter Update. It's really about adding in this next big chunk to the park, and that comes with a lot of things that are very, very exciting for us. With this Winter Update, which is the community garden, is attached right to that early picnic area. On the map, it's just to the east of it, behind the gigantic statue of Tully and Burgle. This was our opportunity to really start delving into a brand new biome with everything that entails. You've got a vegetable garden, you've got a greenhouse, and you've got a pumpkin patch. All of these introduce a lot of new and different types of artwork and places for the player to explore. And then, of course, then we need all the insects that go in these areas too. And so a ton of new insects that are in there. As I love to say, all of these insects, you can fight. Maybe they're docile and you can attack them. Many of them are aggressive and will attack you. And regardless, you fight them, learn their tactics, and then eventually turn them into fashionable attire and new weapons.
Going to a new biome, a new area in the park allows us to fully lean into what makes the park unique from the backyard. And for us, that means that mixture of really organic structures as well as that man-made touch, that this was designed by humans at human level.
Wasps are coming back, which are a lot of fun to fight, but can be kind of annoying. Again, this is a survival game, so so excited about those things coming back. Black ants are also coming back too, and like with both of those, you get sets of armor and different weapons that you can craft after you've defeated these creatures. We're more excited about the new creatures that are coming in the garden update though. So we developed a brand new creature in the cricket. The cricket is pretty big. Again, the size of a large bus probably. It has some very unique attack combinations that are a lot of fun. It can also, of course, jump very, very far. It has its own armor sets. It has its own weapon or weapons that you can craft based upon it. And then the same thing for earwig. And we actually have two different types of earwig. There's sort of a ranged earwig and a melee earwig that tend to travel around together to thwart the player with their strategic opportunities. Again, you can turn those into armor, of course, turn them into your base furnishings. You can turn them into weapons. And we think they'll offer some exciting and unique combat opportunities.
We really want Grounded 1 players to be excited to see these creatures again, but also to be surprised and delighted by the changes. Just like we did in the picnic area, we've revamped the combat. So that means even looking at the old legacy creatures and going, okay, how do we make them a part of the system? How do we make them challenging in this new dance? How can we leverage our systems to make them more interesting? And so hopefully there's a couple of twists coming, even with the old favorites, that will keep veteran players on their toes and will surprise and delight new players.
We have a brand new buggy, the Ladybug buggy, which you'll be able to get and raise and hatch and then ride around in the yard. And we're pretty excited about all that stuff. Like, I think all of it is coming together just really well.
I think every single Grounded
dude,
player
it's an early
Grounded
access
1 at some point jumped on the Ladybug and let it transport them around. And we often joke that was the original buggy prototype. And there's something so iconic about the Ladybug and getting on it and wanting to ride it that it felt like an inevitability for us. But what's important for us whenever we do introduce a new buggy is we don't want it to just be another one or just a horse.
I didn't see any leaks.
And so it really boiled down to what can the Ladybuggy bring to the table that the other ones weren't.
It's cool, just chill. Don't try to
and bring a
when it comes to information of games, like
player
it's just more of like
how can
just
we
chill.
carve out her little niche in the game? If she's the tank,
keep looking every single day.
The one who can get into those really tough fights and withstand those large swarms of insects. And that's where the idea of the water cannon on her back and players being able to shoot at their enemies, and that ended up providing a ton of gameplay opportunities and a really unique experience. Being able to shoot down the aerial insects that are often a bit more challenging and a bit more frustrating for players. Well, now you have this ranged weapon that you can take them down with that feels super satisfying, almost like an anti-air gun. For us, as soon as we crack that, it felt like, okay, there she is, that's her niche, and now it's just about bringing that experience to life and finding moments in the garden experience to really highlight that and let that shine for the player.
I think an interview made sense for these because these are games that are already
So we
out.
saw Avowed, great interview that you did over there. We see now that we have New Game Plus coming, there's a photo mode, new weapon type, changing appearance. There's new character presets, you got new races, which
species,
I'm sure, Lua will have a lot of
The
fun
funny
with.
part is the
They're doing a
majority
lot,
of the Avowed
and,
stuff was
the
already
game,
announced.
Of course, launched earlier this year. Obsidian's been very
Busy this year.
busy, yeah. And they're doing these free updates now, and so they also are adding New Game Plus, which adds a whole new reason for you to go back through the game. So the game is coming to PS5.
We got another one.
We got
the Avowed Platinum Trophy was insane.
Here we go.
Yeah, yeah, but it's coming and it's available for pre-order as of this
Right
show
now?
going live. So right now, so check it out. And when I talked to them, they were saying how important the community is to them, how they've listened to a lot of their feedback, like adding arachnophobia mode on Grounded.
I was gonna say, Luke, if I'm scared of spiders, what do I do?
Yeah, there's arachnophobia mode. But they that's kind of their driving force, is looking at the community, what the community is saying, communicating. They're like, hey, we'd like more species and more customization options in Character Builder. Okay, we'll do that. And it's just really nice to see them do that. They could put it in a paid package, but they're not. They're just, it's a labor of love, and that's.
I really like how, as you're going to New Game Plus, you can also change your character's appearance. So you keep some of your skills and stuff, but if you are tired of how your character looks or you want to do something new, try a different race, you can do that by just going to New Game Plus. You don't need to go back to the beginning.
Besides that, we also had Grounded 2, which is bringing the Garden of Brook Hollow Park that is now going to be open. So it's a new biome. They have new creatures, new tools, a new mushroom brick material that you can build more stuff with, and also a new ladybug buggy.
A lady buggy.
So sweet.
For those of you watching, it's a play on word.
Allow me to explain.
Ladybug E, because you can mount it and ride it like a buggy.
Yeah, and speaking to the listening community, they also take a lot of feedback. This is a game that launched back into early access back in July, and so this is a major winter update is what they're calling it, and it was heavily requested to have more types of transport, which they are still planning more for the future that people can be excited about, but they always listen to feedback about, should an insect be an enemy? Should an insect be what they call, is it docile or docile? I'm from Iowa.
Whatever you prefer.
Yeah. Different
Even the
insects can be
stuff they're
friendly,
talking
some
about
can
now
be
is
enemies,
already
and of course they can
talked
also
about
treat them now as
by
transport
Grounded.
as well.
You looked at Luke when you asked.
Well, yeah, I'm not looking at you. And so with this update, they're doing this throughout a lot of the timeline. Like they're gonna give you a lot of these big updates, and you're gonna be kind of surprised of
Hey.
the first release early access.
Still
There
a
was still
dab.
plenty to do.
It's
It
still a dab.
was a survival game, but if you were a fan of Grounded, the original, you knew they were still gonna have a great winter update for you like this. And so they have a lot on their roadmap, but because of the way the game is oddly scaled down, it's from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the way it's shrunk down, they have so much they still want to do and will be doing for a long, long time.
Well, and that cricket.
Yeah, the cricket thing looks
that thing's
terrifying.
horrifying. It turns around and
You're like, wait, what's he doing? What's he doing?
Spreading. I gotta give them credit. Obsidian's been so crazy busy. The fact that you can put out 2 pretty sizable games in 1 year.
3.
And a bunch of updates for it.
And it seems like they were cooking something huge, right? Because
Yeah, they just had Tim
3.
Kaine come back out of retirement. He's one of the creators of Fallout back in the day.
They released
And
3
he,
games.
didn't he also
2
was
full games
some of
in
the original
in early
creators
access,
of
yeah.
Vampire Bloodlines?
I think he did
I
work
think
on
so,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
He's kind of a legend of the industry. He, in 2020, went and started doing consulting work with Obsidian. But he
come
was,
on now.
in his
When you're
words,
being fans of
semi-retired. But he's
Obsidian,
actually
you
gone
should
back
know
to
at least
Obsidian to work
they
full-time
did 3
in
games last year.
office, moved to the studio on some project that's unannounced, and he said, don't bother guessing, you will not guess it. So, new IP. Something crazy, who knows? But they are
Or
busy.
he's trying to throw us off.
It's hard to not see hope, at least for Fallout stuff,
Yeah.
because
TV show.
the TV show being excellent and everyone itching
I
for
still
more
haven't watched
Fallout.
season
So
2.
Next up, we have 3 fantasy RPG
One
games
interview.
that are looking very cool, as I would say. This is going to be Outward 2 from Nine Dots Studio, a follow-up to their other survival game, Outward, obviously. We have Varen's Call by Titan Rock, and then we also have Dragon Twin by Draconic Interactive.
I'm submitting your application to be on the panel. I'm not as. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest about something. I wouldn't say I'm like that very well knowledge into like gaming industry stuff, but I try to like at least like understand the facts as much as I can if I do learn something and everything.
Because they want to
like
be immersed more
these
than they want to
like
be powerful, and that was
as
the
much
big
as like
change in our approach.
hearing these
We
people.
made all of our design
They have
decisions
like that.
to be in alignment.
They do the research. It's not that
If
I
you
don't
were
want
just
to
a
do
regular
research
person and
and
you
all
wanted
that
to
stuff.
think
It's just
like a
more the fact
human
I
would
play too many
in
goddamn
fantasy
games.
world. It's when you are aloof, when you're just like, that's not so dangerous. I've done it before, and that's when life just snaps back at you, right? In real life, that's like that. It should be like that in the design as well. So one gigantic.
I do
thing
like talking
is
about
the
games.
character
It's just more of the
creation.
fact if you're
Not
not
the one,
knowledge
like,
on it,
we had
then you don't
very
want to know what they
ugly
are.
protagonists.
Then I don't want to
And
know
we
what
didn't
they
have a
are.
lot of options. You know, you had like.
It's not even. It's not even that. It's like because I'm intrigued of video games in general. Like no matter what they are.
It feels like
It's like
really
it's become more
throwing
like
yourself into an RPG.
gaming now. It's
You
like
choose
you
a
have to
background,
like
you choose traits, you have
understand
a
the certain
very
things of the patch
granular
notes, the roadmaps,
system
and everything
to
like that of what's
modify,
coming into the
customize
game
the
and all that stuff.
character to your liking.
And
One of the big
everything
thing
like
is you
everything. It's
choose
just like,
one
bruh, can I
of
just play
three starting
and
locations.
let me learn on my
So
own
as a regular person,
when I jump
what
into the game?
justifies throwing yourself into danger? How do you become an adventurer? Well, we have 3 different quests depending on which city you choose. So if you are in Simeon's Bastion, you are a homeless person. You're desperate. In Tramontane, you are a miner and you're trying to like improve your status and your quality of life. In Haboob, you are just a clerk who just bought a house. What could possibly go wrong? You know, and very mundane situations, like you're not special or anything, but something special happens to you, and then you have to live up to the situation. We want a weather system that is very dynamic. So now we have a year-long calendar with seasons, and you just go through all that. So it's gonna be winter, and then it's spring, and then summer, and does change.
Okay,
Like,
okay, Kendrick,
what kind
chill.
of stuff can be found, what kind of armor you need to wear. Dual wielding is gigantic. So now you can combine anything that goes in one hand, and that opens up a lot of possibilities. In Outward 1, like you had your offhand could only have a set amount of things, and you had your main hand. Now you can just interchange.
One to
You can
be
have
used
2 shields if you
merchants.
want. It sucks. I don't recommend, but you can. Of course, like just visually, and the fact that it is much more lush, it's more filled, it's more visually vibrant. That's going to be something that people will notice very quickly. Just like in Outward 1, we have 8 skill trees, and all those skill trees have some exclusive skills. So if you take one, you can't take the other, and you have a maximum of 3 breakthrough points. So there's only 3 skill trees that you can learn from to the maximum of the capabilities. Otherwise, you only have like the first few layers of skills available. One thing we added are the attribute points, the core stats. So strength, agility, constitution, willpower, intelligence. We added those. We're gonna track a lot of different things that you do. They're all gonna have like different thresholds. So let's say you dodge attacks successfully a certain number of times, you unlock a node that will give you a passive trait and increase your agility. So very small incremental changes. We start with very simple things, and it expands us in more and more circles. So
We're
you
trying
won't
to
be
get
able from the
to-
very
we're
start
trying to get Ninja
unlock
to
all
join us
3 skill
again.
trees just because you have the
What
character
happened to
do
him?
it.
He has
You will
stopped
have to
talking
have
since then.
experience. You will need to have practiced the life of danger in Ori to be able to understand, like get to the next level of the skill trees. Other than that, well, I think it's important to note that all 4 regions are new regions, so it's really just completely new environment to explore.
Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into our upcoming action RPG, Varen's Call. The world of Leda is entirely shrouded by darkness on one side, while scorched by endless sun on the other. These incredibly hostile areas are known as the Forsaken Realms, which, as you may have noticed, is the name of the universe we are meticulously crafting. Your first steps within the Forsaken Realms will take you to the Vale of Varin, a city on the brink of collapse, and the first of our narrative-focused adventures. You'll step into the boots of a lone mercenary, seeking to
Threshold's
answer
how long
Varin's
ago?
call for aid.
He went to watch anime and left us unsupervised. Oh dear God. He's off.
It's clear that Varin needs a hero, and every hero needs a way to slay the countless fantastical beasts they'll encounter. Varin's Call aims to cater to a wide range of playstyles, offering you the freedom to combat the unknown in a variety of ways. Whether you prefer to be a nimble-footed archer, flinging fireballs between arrows, or face your foes toe-to-toe as an axe-wielding whirlwind of death, the choice is yours. The game's classless system means you're
Remind me of
never
Rule
playing in a
34?
specific way. You have the ability to adapt, alter, or completely switch playstyles midway through your adventure. Unlock and spend perk points to obtain new skills and abilities, and level up your mercenary's core stats by gaining character experience. Hidden chests throughout the world will reward you with a range of weapons, armor, and unique trinkets, some providing unique effects to help you gain an edge in your next combat encounter.
What am I
The
missing
local
here?
hamlet of South Vale
Chat.
acts as a hub, a safe space that provides various amenities for you to further develop your character. Use the Forge to upgrade the weapons and armor you find throughout the world, and the Dismantling Bench to deconstruct items for materials. The
Wait,
spellcrafting
that's Rule
table
34?
can be used to increase the power
Incognito
of your
tab?
magic. Everything from an area of effect
Like,
freeze
won't you
attack
just
that
learn?
stops the
Oh,
enemy in
I'm
their
just learning
tracks,
something new every
to
day.
ripping up the ground from underneath their feet with destructive force. Use the Trap Making Bench to upgrade and unlock new traps and gadgets. A nice complement to your arsenal, allowing you the opportunity to catch your enemies off guard. And finally, the
Oh, look it up in.
This can be
Okay,
used to
nope.
custom
I already know
a
what that's on.
multitude of mixtures,
Just hearing
from
that,
replenishing
just
health and restoring
the fact that I
stamina,
have to look it
curing
up in
yourself with
incognito
nasty stats
already
effects.
already
These
sounds like it's not a good
concoctions
thing.
are sure to aid you on your journey. Okay, great. So you've equipped that shiny new helmet, purchased that slightly overpriced magic spell you always had your eyes on, and upgraded that new Polybuster barrel to the volatile variant that has even more boom. You're ready to get back into the fight, but maybe you want a change of pace. Yes, you're supposed to be the hero and save the city, but heroes need breaks too.
Red flag. Okay.
Besides, there's
Wait, I'm being a red flag for doing that, or are you talking about the
quirky
Rule
characters
34 is
from all
a red
walks of
flag?
life need your help with their problems.
Then you've come about the job.
You might find yourself involved in a murder mystery, helping a local peacekeeper catch the criminal behind the death of her beloved friend. Or maybe you're on a mission to rid Varin of the Gnomi scourge that plagues the city, all because a crazy guy in an outhouse called you a hero?
I know the truth!
Maybe we should stick to the main task at hand after all. Varin's Call is soon to release on PC with full controller support, with the aim of releasing on consoles at a later date. Our game is inspired by classics like Fable and The Elder Scrolls, so if this sounds like your kind of adventure, consider heading over to Steam and adding it to your wishlist to stay up to date with us. Until then, we'll see you mercenaries soon.
That's what I'm looking at now. I don't play a lot of Overwatch nowadays. Early access demo for Patreon supporters. Traven, welcome in. Thank you for dropping the likes. A dragon creator? That's interesting. That is very, very detailed creator.
First question I had was, how hard is this game going to be? Because the most common question about the original Outward was, okay, this is like, does it have to be so hard?
I actually got to play the game in the alpha version, and I got my ass kicked.
I'm glad.
Deserved. But it's actually amazing. Like, I actually really enjoyed it because exploring this game felt very rewarding, and there's like a camping system, so you can camp like right outside like the enemy zone, and then you prepare like your weapons and everything to wreck the enemy, because if you don't prepare, oh, you're in trouble.
It's known to be a very, very hardcore survival, and when I was talking to Guillaume, he was like, if you die, it is likely your fault. And we all heard him say, like, it's not hard, but it is demanding, and they always at all times want to live up to those words, which is really awesome. And they will have a pack mule, which he said, of course, shocker, can die if you don't take care of it.
Of course.
But it's, one of the big struggles was with inventory and spacing along other
I apologize on
struggles
behalf
that players
of the
had to
bed.
really
I
try
just
and
heard the
play out this
Junior
game.
in the
Like
chat.
you were saying earlier, you can't dilly-dally in this game. You have to really know what
They
you're going to do.
have their
and eventually
moments,
you'll get a hang of
but they're not
things.
bad.
But another big one was dual wielding, so you can dual wield.
They have their
he
moments,
says
but they're not
anything in the
bad.
game. You can even double shield it up, which he says is not recommended.
Okay, now that's just creepy.
He really loves to stress all of these niche things. Like you can sprain your ankle, you can perforate a lung.
Trauma.
She has clearly sprained. You can sprain her.
I also got brain damage.
You can have a concussion. It will all impact you, and all of these ailments like take different lengths of time to recover from.
I got a concussion in game as well. It was really tough.
As well?
What were you doing? What were you doing out of game?
It was it was just kind of like a play on, because whenever I told people I got a concussion, brain damage in game, a lot of people in my chat was like in game.
Sounds like the most hardcore of hardcore survivals.
It was really fun, and you can also play with friends, and then things become a lot more bearable.
They've showed the split screen.
Yeah,
and
so
it
you
looks
can play
awesome.
split screen with your friends, and it's really nice. Especially because then, like, you get beaten up, and then your friends get beaten up. So, and then you know.
can get digital concussions together.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Forsaken Realms, Baron's Call. We were all sitting here saying it looks
It looks sick.
Most importantly, controller support. I can play that one.
I was trying to put my finger on what like the vibe was, and at the very end of the trailer, they say inspired by games like Fable. They really struck an interesting vibe. It seems like it's got a lot of soul and heart in it.
We've talked about music a lot today. I just want to say that was something I noticed right there. That flute, there's something about a flute. When a flute starts playing,
When the
in a
flute
fantasy
started,
game,
yeah,
dude.
When the flute started playing, he was like, oh my god.
I'm ready to go to war.
No, the game looks really nice. It looks very well detailed, and I can't wait to try it.
they angled it that like, hey, you can do this thing. You can really focus on combat and the main quest line, the main story, but this is also an expansive world where there are a bunch of little side stories where you can go to these individual side characters and like help them catch their chicken.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
murder mystery or whatever it is. And I feel like that's what builds out a world and makes it feel more full. So I think it looks great. Third, we had Dragon Twin. I don't even know if we're.
Let's ride!
Dude, you can make your own dragon. There's a character creator for your dragon.
Did you see the neck customizer? I mean, like Jake was like.
To be fair, is very early in production. They're working on all these systems for Dragon Flight, and as they mentioned in the trailer, it's still a work in progress. They're like finding the game and what it's gonna be based on funding, Patreon support, things like that. But I mean, just like imagining the vision of a kingdom builder where like you're in command of dragons like Khaleesi, like inject that into my veins. It's another one of those games I didn't know I needed or wanted, but
never even came across your mind. You're like, wait a second.
So you see it and you're like, of course.
Of course I need that.
I can't wait to see how it progresses because it already looks amazing.
But they left the combat pretty open-ended. Like we saw some battle scenes, we saw some light with other dragons maybe fighting, and how that's going to come into play, I'm really curious
The movement, I mean, you're going to get some Battlefield pilots.
It's
so cinematic.
The cinematic shots you're going to get with that dragon is going to be crazy.
Next up, we have some exclusive content coming from Munfish, a comparison of the twins from Atomic Heart, now in the cube, a very exciting game I think we're all looking forward to. And for Atomic Heart, some new screenshots from their DLC number 4. On top of that, there is also Immortal Gates of Pyre that we had an incredible interview with that Jake hosted, where we talk a little bit about the making of the game, the people behind it, and RTS in general.
Was that it?
Is it recording?
Yeah, it is.
It's in the sky, a giant cube. I can still barely believe it myself. When it showed up, I was in the lab. I didn't even see it. You know? I felt the same
I finally,
fear, though.
it was on sale, so I
Terrible
bought it.
sense of my own
I never played it when it first
powerlessness.
launched. Yeah, it's a
How
cube.
did the whole of humanity miss it? And did we actually miss it? What if the cube didn't appear, but revealed itself? What if it was always there, and we've only just started to see it?
I remember seeing this already. Wait, this is actually set within the Atomic Heart universe. Okay. That was literally the same trailer with one difference. That ending.
So Immortal Gates of Pyre is an attempt to modernize and make more accessible the RTS genre while simultaneously keeping all of the complexity and the opportunities for mastery that have made RTS so popular over the years. So it's I would refer to it as a Blizzard style RTS, the fast action, big battles, very tactical, kind of very rapid fire chess. We realized that RTS, in part because it was dominated by a few big players, never really went through the kind of indie transformational experimentation. Some of the companies that tried to do so did so by stripping away features or losing some of the things that really made RTS great. In the early days, we surveyed a lot of players in both MOBA and RTS communities, and found that they really loved the fantasy of commanding an army. RTS, at the end of the day, if you were to strip it all away, is just you're commanding an army, another guy's commanding an army in real time.
Yeah.
Right? Because you get individual unit control, it can be very overwhelming. And because you're also building those units, because you're building a base, because you're having to do so much macroing along with the microing simultaneously, that for most players it just gets overwhelming and complicated. And so we worked through it kind of line by line, trying to figure out what are the rote tasks, what are the things that players are required to do that are not really decisions, that are more just chores, right? And how do we make more and more of the complexity in the game, but optional, opt-in, what we refer to as opt-in complexity. And then simultaneously, how do we create a world and experiences and game modes that people want to be a part of? We want to take this genre and show people this genre isn't dead. People want this fantasy, they want this experience. A lot of it has to do with things like the UI and the UX, the unit design, and a lot of that opt-in complexity. So for example, in most RTSs, you always have to be building workers. If you're not building workers, you're falling behind on your economy and you're screwed. The correct move, with very few exceptions, is to build a worker every chance you get. So we made that automated, but have a toggle. If you want it turned off, you can. So if you're trying to do a specific timing attack, you can, but we took that complexity away. One of the other things is how in MOBAs you have a unified command card, right? All of the abilities and castable abilities on your hero are easy to reach. You can hit all of those buttons very quickly on one hand. We redesigned the UI UX to be the same way. So you can select your whole army with one button by default, and then all of the abilities, castable abilities of your army are also on that one unified command card. One of the things that people often tell us is that when they watch our game, it looks like an RTS, but when they play it, it almost plays more like a MOBA in terms of how they're commanding their army. Our early idea was if we bring the top, 10 modders within generally the strategy gaming space, if we bring them all together and we say, if we were to come together and build a game that truly is the next generation of RTS, what does it look like? And that's what we set out to do. The 1v1 or 2v2 PvP experiences, they're similar to a StarCraft or a StarCraft 2. Maps, we did redesign the maps and we redesigned the mechanics in a way that 2v2 is actually really, really fun. It's a core support gameplay mode. And players, including pro players, have actually really enjoyed doing 2v2 tournaments. But the ultimate goal is to destroy the enemy's town centers, and so it's kind of a tactical back and forth with counters and strategic snipings and using immortal abilities in clever ways. So it's great for mastery and laddering and skill gain. Ultimately, or at least the goal, is to have other PvP modes that are more casual or more playful, kind of some chaos modes, auto battler modes, things like that, where if you just have 10 minutes and you want to have a beer while doing it, and you want to do something that's a bit strategic, but you don't want to get that sweaty, we want to have those experiences too. That's a big part of the target market that we're looking at, is people that like to be challenged mentally, but don't necessarily want to try to do the crazy APM and don't want to get too invested in the competition. We want to do a full grand campaign. The inspiration for how we kind of want, or how we see the ideal campaign, if we can build it, is very similar to Dark Crusade. It's a grand campaign. You can be kind of any of these different factions and conquering territory and building new and unique stories.
One of the better trailers that I think we all saw back around SGF last
not
year.
our new trailer that we're showing with this. Of course, the twin comparison is new, which is very cool to see the twins for the first time in this universe, if you like Atomic Heart. But the trailer itself for the Cube, nothing new.
The potential for that game is like unmatched. It is a crazy
They're so
concept.
good at cinematics, and also just like the concept of playing a game like that with the map constantly changing, the biomes changing. It like breaks my brain to think about, but in a fun way.
I'll be right back.
Different terrains,
I'll let
different
this
weather.
play.
Yeah. They show that sliding clip where she's sliding, and then as the cube is apparently rotating, we don't know how that mechanic even works with the
Well, I'm
map.
assuming you can fall off. Like if you fall
You would
off the
think,
map,
right?
you just like that's I'm sure you're
Or get
dead.
crushed.
And they've taken so many gameplay mechanics already. We saw from that short trailer. You saw wall running. You saw just like traditional gunplay.
The other cool part to me is that it is set in a universe that people have already been a part of.
The world of Atomic Heart's very interesting.
Can you explain it a little bit?
It's kind of like it is Soviet Russia in an alternate timeline where they've mastered robotics, but then there's like evil robots.
And in terms of vibe, it's kind of like Soviet Bioshock. And
Yeah,
it's a vibe.
that's a good way to put it.
And what's interesting is that from the original game Atomic Heart, one of the primary things people loved about it were like the boss fights and then like the outdoor environments and the art direction. And that is just the cube. And then they're adding in this multiplayer component as well with like, it seems like PvE elements with bosses that you'll fight against together as the cube rotates. I can't wait to find out more.
I love how open-ended they are. Mundfish are like, we are all curious because we don't know the exact direction they're going and where it could end up. And I was trying to pinpoint like what game I was looking at, because we are gonna flow into Atomic Heart, and I love that tie between those worlds. But I honestly saw a piece of like the finals and the first Destructibility and cube movement we saw when the finals first released. There was something about that aesthetic that I also saw, and I was like, okay, now I'm instantly locked back into this.
The DLCs people love. There's already Atomic Heart 1 and 2. This is their fourth and final DLC for Atomic Heart. And when we saw the trailer, we saw the screenshots, it adds new environments and it looks good.
Yeah.
You know? Then the third game on our list with that one was Immortal Gates of Pyre by Sunspear. Jake, you had a great conversation with Ian.
My boy Ian. It's a game that's been in development for a long time. We're gonna probably talk about how it's a group of modders, and so they've hired a lot of modders, and they have that DNA for this game and a lot of the concepts they want to plan out for the future. They've had hands on this for almost 10 years, but they've been working hard on it for about 5, is what they would tell you. And they really want to try and combat, as we all know, like the RTS genre is really hard to get into because
high barrier of entry.
I agree, because it's like you see these games, you know RTS games, and you're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work on micro, macro, and all those movements per second and whatnot. And they want to try and combat the pillars that have already established themselves in the RTS genre. We know Age of Empires, but we also know StarCraft is the one that people kind of go to. And he was saying they've had these games in the genre that blew up so early on that it's been hard for companies like this to make a new RTS and survive and branch out and be somewhat unique to what we already have kind of attached to.
I do like that they're kind of emphasizing accessibility, because I think it is pretty intimidating for new players. That's why a lot of people don't want to, are kind of
They
turned
seem to
off
have a
by
good strategy.
RTS. It's just so overwhelming to look at.
It's awesome. I'm one of the people who haven't played RTS because I don't want to go against Sweaty Joe, who's been playing this his entire life. I have no.
He lives.
Yeah, I don't have any clue how to do it.
I live for micro, macro movements,
This is
bro.
cool. And then you can have the sweaty experience if you want, or you can have the experience where you just sit at home and have a beer.
I did, when he said that, I was like, that's my guy.
Exactly.
This game was made for.
But I do want to really support him, and when it comes to cracking through whatever the current the current stereotype in that genre is, they're trying to innovate, they're trying to do things differently. And one last thing, they're very, very community focused. So like a lot of the devs we've spoken to, they love their community, they found their diehards, and it really has shaped the project. And so I hope we see it in the near future.
Next up, we have what I'm calling kind of a Western section. We have some new footage from the game X-Killer. That's going to be Paradark Studio. There's Far Far West from Evil Raptor and Erosion from Plot Twist.
Welcome to the world of Execular. We are Kasia and Amadeus, the creators of the game.
And this is Gameplay Overview. Execular is a first-person action-adventure game that encourages exploration, rewards curiosity,
and never holds your hand.
You play as Denzel Phoenix, an Execular, a corporate bounty hunter.
Execulars hunt down fugitives and reclaim souls from those who try to escape the system.
One of the game's main hubs is the Tower, a massive fortress city ruled by the Helion Corporation. This is where you accept contracts, upgrade your gear, and prepare for missions.
Job well done, contract fulfilled.
The game is structured in chapters, and almost everyone begins and ends in the Tower.
Outside the tower lies a harsh, scorched desert. You travel through it in a heavily modified car designed to protect you from extreme conditions such as heat and radiation. Inside the vehicle, you have access to your computer, storage, and a working radio.
From your
Survival is a core part of the experience.
Inventory space is limited, and every item matters, forcing players to make careful decisions about what to carry and what to leave behind.
Hellion's high-tech systems allow you to hack devices, pick locks, and access restricted areas.
Your cybernetic implants help you uncover hidden elements and investigate the environment. Missions and level design are fully non-linear. There's no single way to complete a contract. Stealth, dialogue, and combat are all valid approaches and can be freely combined.
In Exekiller, every decision matters.
What's it gonna be? Plata or muerte?
Wishlist Exekiller on Steam.
Hi everyone, Robert here from Fireshine Games. I am the Senior Product Manager for Far Far West, developed by the incredible 6-person team at Evil Raptor. Far Far West is a 1-to-4 player co-op PvE first-person shooter where you play as robot cowboys in a weird western world. Work together to kill bosses, collect bounties, and cleanse the lands of the evil enemy invaders. Today, I'm going to talk you through a short, single-round session of Far Far West. Here, we're exploring the Far Far West hometown, an evolving space where you can upgrade your weapons, spells, and character. Once the team is geared up and ready to go, we can pick the bounty we want to hunt and drop into the game. Now that we have dropped into the map, it is time to head to our first objective. We can travel around the map much faster with the use of our trusty horses, which you can summon with the press of a button.
I went from
When fighting
Cyberpunk
enemies,
to
I can use different firearms and a variety of spells to do damage or heal myself and teammates. Spells and guns can also be comboed together to make their effects more powerful, spread their damage further, or even create new spells. To summon this boss, we need to do the obvious. Launch a nuke at its nest. So let's get this rocket loaded with explosives and shoot it into the sky. When playing co-op, you have to work together as a team to complete the objectives and defend yourself from enemy attacks. Right now, we're throwing sticks of dynamite to my teammate for him to put in the rocket, of which he is actually only catching a few. While carrying out objectives, you will attract the attention of the enemy hordes, who will try and stop you. Now we have the rocket all powered up, let's launch it at the boss nest to really make it angry. This bounty is far from over. Now we have to take the beast down. Let's summon the boss and get this party started. We won and the boss is dead, but we aren't safe yet. So let's get to the station to get the last train out of town. When the train is called, we have to stay alive for its arrival, which is easier said than done when the whole of the Far West wants you dead. We made it out alive. Well, some of us, which means we get to keep the resources we found along the way. These will allow us to upgrade our characters even more and be stronger for the next bounty. This was just one simple game of Far Far West. There are multiple bosses, maps, objectives, weapons, spells, upgrades, and cosmetics, all unlockable through play. You can play the playtest with your friends right now.
Interesting.
As a parent, you've got one job. Protect your family. Whatever happens, you do it, or die trying.
So much is happening.
But even if you kick the bucket, you don't stay dead for long.
You reminded me of that this morning. My father, he looked on by. He passed on to the next life. Oh.
Liam, whatever you're doing, stop.
First up, we saw X Killer. That's coming from Paradox Studio. It's kind of, I mean, the vibes look great to me. It was reminding me a little bit, you disagreed, but like a cyberpunk in the wild.
No,
in the
I just
West.
see it. I just see it.
And the animation work was crazy good, like the world building.
I think the way it's described is a post-apocalyptic Western-style FPS with a bounty hunter vibe. And so we even saw in the trailer they were picking up bounties. It kind of reminds me of Fallout as well.
Yeah, a little bit of Fallout in there.
So I think it looks like a lot of fun. That could be a new kind of like staple in those types of games, to me at least.
Yeah, it's a great combination. I mean, it looks fantastic. Like, it's stunning.
animation-
It's coming from such a small
Sci-fi
team.
cowboy, I'm in.
Yeah, done.
Say less.
Money.
Then we had Far Far West coming from Evil Raptor, Western-themed action shooter project. The way I've been describing it, to be honest with you, is Western Sea of Thieves. There's a lot of depth there. It looks like, that's not a bad comparison. Sea of Thieves was very fun to me.
What if Sea of Thieves, but cowboys, basically?
Well, it's that, but also with specific hunts and like bounties. We're going out and doing boss fights with each other.
It seems very teamwork based too. Like you saw a clip there where they were fighting the boss on the ground and one of them was up top and your teammate threw the dynamite up, caught it, planted it. Looks really cool.
Third on this list, another Western. This game is pretty mind-blowing. I think we're all on the same page for that.
The art
was
style is
Erosion.
divine.
I could see this one being like...
This is gonna be a big one.
Yeah, a big one.
Well, like the most compelling aspect of it to me is the time passing affecting not just the world that you're exploring, but also like, literally your daughter. She grows older every death that happens.
I think it's
a decade goes
yeah.
past.
So the worse you are at the game.
If you die 20 times, like she's not gonna
She
be
did.
there when you get there. You're gonna be talking to a gravestone. But it's just a very captivating art style, like you
It's also
mentioned.
open world.
Open world roguelike. Yes.
We're gonna have people that are gonna want to go deathless runs of this. I hope that maybe there's a glimpse of hope of like if you have a deathless run or maybe a one
That's
death
like
run,
the true ending or something.
there's a
That's-
happy ending. But
Yeah.
I imagine that most other endings are not gonna be so happy, or
Yeah.
at least a bit sadder.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah,
It looks
exciting.
really good.
We're gonna see a lot from that game.
For sure.
Division 2.
Next up, we have a very exciting section for people who like competitive games, shooter games. We have an awesome interview that Jake did with the executive producer of the Division franchise. We also have Alpha Response, a game coming from the original creator of Counter-Strike, Min Lee, or Gooseman, whatever you know him as, Last Man Sitting from Pixel Pizza, and Sand Raiders of Sophie by Polygriff.
God, I love this. I love coming back playing this game. Division 2 is so much fun.
If you imagine a real world location, the most important city in the United States, Washington, D.C., completely ravaged by a pandemic and struck by the strongest, worst blizzard of all time. And you are going to have to survive and extract the most valuable resources. And of course, that leads us to survivors. So what are we doing? Like, we can't rest on our laurels, our 10-year-old laurels from survival. So we're reimagining it. We're bringing this snowstorm, this weather change to Washington, D.C. And that's something that you've never seen in Washington, D.C. We're going to transform the entire map. We're thinking about it in a very different way, with innovations that haven't been seen yet. There's a focus on this to make it such a different feeling experience from the core Division 2 experience. I think we've got something super, super promising here. Survivors is developed with Magnus Jensen, who is the original Division 1 creative director. So this is a guy who lives and breathes the Division. He's so excited about jumping into this type of game mode again. And there is a hint in the title of something that we're going to be doing really differently from everybody else. We always develop with a player in mind, with player types in mind. And I think here we have to acknowledge that the Division 2 has a large player base of passionate gamers. And one of the things that we want to do is really lean into the sort of comfort game of the Division 2. People are happy to jump in, know their way around the controller, know their way around the map. They know how to play this game. So we're going to take that and subvert it a little bit and change the map and make sure that the weather has an impact on you, which it doesn't have in Division 2. So there are lots of little things that we're doing to surprise our core audience. Veteran players, they're going to be surprised. All of these locations that they know by heart, they're going to be transformed. So the Division 3 is in production, right? This is not a secret. It's been announced. It's shaping up to be a monster. I can't really say anything more than that, but this is within these walls in Massive. We are working extremely hard on something that I think will be as big an impact as Division 1 was. There's a team in Paris working on this, and they're putting the final touches on a mobile execution of the promise of Division 1. So Division 1, New York, pandemic strikes, take back New York. This is a brand new story with mechanics that are really fine-tuned to a mobile phone.
Oh, wow.
Graphically, this looks like a PS5. You may have seen the adverts for it. It looks phenomenal, really, really good. It plays really good. And it has a few innovations. You know, the Dark Zone, this area of atypical PvP. It was an area where, much like other games today, popular games today, you could walk around, you could hear gunshots, go over there, there'd be another agent. You'd approach cautiously, feel each other out and decide
Tarkov,
whether
Ark,
to partner
all those
or
games.
to actually engage in PvP. The whole of the Resurgence map is friendly to other agents. So you'll hear gunshots on a corner. You won't need to be in the Dark Zone. It could be anywhere, and you can group with those people. So PvP is off by default, but being able to group up and to see other agents in the streets, that's never been done in a Division game before, let alone a mobile game.
Last man sitting. What the heck is this?
Last Man Sitting is a game where you blast through the environment mounted on an office chair. So you're always on an office chair, and you also have a freaking gun. So movement-wise, it sort of feels a bit like you're skating, but it's also most definitely a shooter.
And you guys also described the game as a battle royale. So does it lean BR? Is it more shooter? Is it a mix of both? How's that go?
So many years ago, there are early like prototypes of the game. It was a battle royale game. And it sort of went viral and got like a lot of followings based on some short videos of the game. But then as we developed the game more, we found that we wanted to gravitate away from that a bit. So we saw some limitations with the battle royale gameplay. Eventually the game became more like more of a 4-player chaotic PvP shooter, more like a shooter version of Super Smash Bros., which is like one of our favorite games at the office. There's like different maps. There's different modes also. We worked on the PvP mode. We also made a PvE mode, which is more like maybe best compared to Swarm survival games. So it's more like a lightly narrated story where you go up against your manager and you like go up in the floors of an office building. You have to survive for a certain amount of time. There's more and more enemies coming that become more numerous and more ridiculous as time goes by. There's mini bosses, there's main bosses, and you level up, you get power-ups. And this is where like you can get even more power-ups when playing the PvE game mode. So that's when it gets really ridiculous.
Okay.
And you can unlock, of course, new weapons, new characters, new
a lot of
abilities.
stuff.
You can upgrade your chair, so you can.
That was one of my questions. So
we looked a lot at this like early 2000s aesthetic, which we thought was like really cool. Especially like when we started designing the user interface, we felt like, what if the whole user interface just felt like Windows Millennium Edition or Windows XP, and you have that those little square windows, and you have the font that we all remember. So eventually the game sort of became more of this like 2000s nostalgia type game. We also have a lot of like Counter-Strike players at the office. So that's definitely something that I think has had its imprint on the game as well. Imagine it's 2002 and you're listening to punk music and you're playing on your Windows XP computer. That's sort of the feeling that we want the game to have.
PlayStation.
I say first up, we're going to talk about the Division interview. Of course, we weren't able to get a ton of new information, but they are working on a lot of different projects right now.
I don't know if I've ever talked to anyone else who has 26 years at a single company in gaming. So talking to him, he was, I was doing a bit of glazing because everything he said felt like a storytelling experience. And so we're talking about Survivors, and this is the kind of redone version of Division 1's original Survival. And so it's a snowstorm impacted, weather hit Washington, D.C., and it's what he kind of also alluded to as like one of the original extraction shooter-esque like games. But yeah, you have to fight for survival out Weather the Elements. He says it's really, really shaping up. And also original players of Survival are going to experience, he couldn't tell me everything, but they're going to get to experience, you know, remastered things and things that are updated from the original that they did want, but he couldn't tell me too much as to what it was, besides that it's really shaping up and it's really interesting. And both new coming players, you don't have to play Division or Division 2 to stumble across this and love it just as much.
I think with the success, obviously, of games like Arc Raiders right now, you even mentioned that, it's an interesting conversation around, do you try to chase those things and copy stuff, or not even copy, but take inspiration from it, or are you having to come up with your own ideas that you've been working on for 10 years or however long? It's just interesting how they've been working on this for a long time, and now there's a mega popular game in the same exact vein.
Yeah, and he said it a lot more eloquently than I can ever represent it as, but you know, he realizes it's probably a mix of things. Like a lot of other games are doing extraction shooters with certain things here, but they've also had an image of where they want to be and where they want to go for quite some time now, and now they're finally getting to breathe that into existence slowly.
They also talked a little bit about Division 3, which when I say a little bit, I mean like a little bit.
He gave me a quote. He gave me a quote. He gave me a quote. Julian said this. He said, "It's shaping up to be a monster." And I said, I'm gonna clip that, Julian. Thank you very much.
I would say a highly anticipated game that they can't share a lot about, but we were excited just to hear that it's a monster as much as people love these other games. Next up, we had Alpha Response coming from Min Lee.
For anyone who doesn't know Min Lee, the original creator of Counter-Strike, I love this guy. We've had the chance to meet him on a couple occasions, also sit down and talk with him. He went to his first Counter-Strike major this past year. It was an incredibly rare experience to see like such a notorious dev get to see what his game has truly become, and he was there since the very, very beginning. And then to see like an esport develop out of it was crazy. Not to go on too much of a tangent, but he still has that shooter DNA in him, and so this is kind of a mission-based shooter, might you, and you also play as law enforcement, but the goal is to complete a series of missions, and yeah, definitely remains true to the whole shooter Gooseman DNA.
It looks like Counter-Strike meets Payday, but you're the good guy. I mean, you're the law enforcement.
Then, speaking of Counter-Strike, we talked to a guy who was highly inspired by Counter-Strike, which is so cool to me to have in the showcase. So, like, we have the OG who made this game, then we have a guy who's inspired by that guy. This was Last Man Sitting.
It's so ridiculous, and I love it.
We need games like this.
It feels like a mixture of like Tony Hawk's Skater Pro, but replace the skates with chairs, and
give them all weapons.
And give them some guns. Why not?
The clips are going to be insane.
Yeah.
You're going to see some wild stuff come out of this game. The things people are going to be doing.
And they're still working on a lot when it comes to PvP versus PvE, but at the core base of it, they want it to be PvP based. It's going to be a round-based game, and so I believe 4 players. So super competitive lobbies, but I think you can
it's also a chaotic shooter.
Very, very chaotic, and it progresses round by round. So their unique feature in competitive balancing is it's the first player to win 5 rounds, but if you lose a round, you get a power-up. So you get an ability, and that is their way to balance.
Even the odds a little bit.
You can even upgrade your chair.
Yeah, so by the end, which you can, and by the end, it's gonna be pretty hectic because of course, if everyone's taking their turns and winning 3 rounds, 4 rounds, whatever, by the end, you're all gonna be super OP. And so the ultimate goal is to win that 5th round, you're gonna have to beat some pretty high-powered people.
My favorite part of the interview is hearing him say, you know, we're inspired by Counter-Strike, Super Smash Bros, the Call of Duty era. He just wanted to see people 360 no-scope others and like made a game out of it.
In an office chair. And if you see the trailer, you'll see the agents or the characters, and you'll be like, oh, that looks like Counter-Strike, and he'll say, yep, that was kind of, we're all big Counter-Strike.
You just know he grew up on the quick scope montages, 360 trick shots.
Well, and I love the idea of like they're sitting brainstorming the game, and he's like, I want to make a shooter, but what's our unique spin on it?
Wait a second.
Guys, get in here. You're never gonna believe this. You might want to sit down.
It'll make sense. Then finally, in that section, we had Sand Raiders of Sophie. The developer is Holly Griff as well as Tower House, but the publisher is Tiny Build, who we're all very familiar with. This is a co-op action adventure. You're in a desert world. Honestly, it reminded me of another. I don't remember it. They were like sailing in the desert in some other game, but this. My favorite part about this is that you could see them building your ship. that you're then like traversing the desert
It's kind
and
of like a
fighting
base
people.
building.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of reminded me of Sea of Thieves meets Base Builder.
Rust.
Where you're like, yeah, you're building your own
Rust.
ship. Yeah, it's very cool.
Rust on legs.
There's also normal gunplay too as well though, which I found. At first I was like, oh, it looks cool, but then I saw there were like normal guns too. So.
I like it's a new concept. I feel like where they were probably, I have to assume, fans of Rust or fans of different types of games. They're like, okay, what if we make a moving base in the desert, and then you can explode people's bases? Or
what?
I'm curious. We didn't see it in the trailer. I'm curious if you can raid other people's bases.
I'm pretty sure you.
That'd be the coolest part.
wrong?
Raid their
like jump
base.
off of yours.
Pretty
on
sure
there.
you can
I'm
take
sure
other
he's
people's
fine.
bases.
Liam
I'm
is
pretty
fine.
sure.
Liam, let him know that you're fine.
Next up, we have a section that a couple of us are definitely going to be very excited about. This is the 25th year that Jagex has been making RuneScape at this point, which is extremely impressive. I know Jake and I have been playing it our entire lives. We've got old school RuneScape, we've got RuneScape 3, and we have Dragon Wilds.
The Trinity!
Right, so 3 games, massive games that have been around for a long time, a lot of people have heard of.
I think we should just give the room to Jake.
I love it here. This
Use
is
the
my-
bathroom real quick.
This is my favorite part for all you RuneScape fans.
When we all arrived here, the first thing I saw was Jake on his laptop and RuneScape was pulled up next to Twitter.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Did you see how Hunter has like a side monitor just
He does this.
Really? I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
cool. These guys are real
Lower level?
fans,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
I'm north of 1800 now.
I'm over 2100.
I knew
so
that's why I didn't want to answer, because I knew you were going to lead into
Then
it. Anyway,
don't-
Jagex has
don't
given us a
just
variety of
ask
exclusives across all 3
for me-
games.
for me
We're
to-
super happy to talk
to
about
bring
it.
him
They've
back,
done a lot
to
of
bring him in
very
here,
impressive things
and
over
then
the
just
past
tell
year, I
me
would
that
say.
I
They
don't
did
want him back.
Barlamore with Jake's favorite, the Gemstone Crab, just AFK there. It's awesome. Has the Delve with Doom. They have the
Gridmaster.
The Gridmaster this year, which was super fun. I played that one. They also added Sailing most recently, which is the first new skill ever in old school RuneScape. Had a lot of back and forth. My favorite part about it is the fact that they listened to the community a lot with the release of it. The exclusive they gave us was this new logo reveal for the next league season. So that was League 6 Demonic Packs. We don't know much more past that. Obviously, Leagues is a lot of fun and probably the most engaging time periods of RuneScape. I think you see player peaks every time. So I imagine a lot of those WoW players are going to come back and be a part of that. Outside of that, RuneScape 3 was also in the news a lot this year.
For a variety of reasons. One of the biggest ones being they've removed the biggest monetization methods they had in the game, which was widely talked about and has been for probably next to a decade. You know, obviously in the MMO genre, you have to make money to sustain such big games and big servers for a reason and to keep these updates coming. They're not small teams. And so it was that community battle of like, we need monetization, but at what point is it too much monetization? And they finally reached that breaking point.
I think we also have some reveals of some of the areas they're revamping, which is very cool. They're trying to declutter the entire world because right now the game, if you, as an old school player, log on, you're probably like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Most of the time. So that's very cool. They also gave us the image of their anniversary cape, which looks fire.
Isn't that beautiful? And I actually have one behind me.
This is Jake's Avengers Endgame.
Oh, man.
And then finally, we also had Dragon Wilds, which is a game that we are very excited about.
Another incredible game.
We are big fans of those types of games.
Yep.
Valheim, we spent a ton of time on. So when RuneScape announced this, we were super stoked personally and played it. They're in early access, but they talk a lot about their 1.0 release and everything that's coming.
For those unaware, Dragon Wilds is the survival game inspired by RuneScape. And so being a big survival game guy and my love for RuneScape, it was kind of the mixing of both worlds. So Dragon Wilds was always going to be a big thing for me. And as you said, it is early access, still developing. They are aiming for that full release though. It's still a great game and getting better and better.
If you like games like Valheim or Enshrouded, I would say this is the kind of game
100%.
you would like to play because it's just like that. You can spend a ton of time building your house and making it better and better. And then they're also adding iconic RuneScape things. Again, we talked about that with like the cube. it's cool to see a world you already love in another format.
The fresh twist.
Yeah. They already have released their roadmap, but we have a lot of cool stuff that is coming to the game that RuneScape players will recognize. New skills come out at each time, so fishing, prayer, agility. You're gonna get mithril armor, rune armor coming out. There's 3 new regions next year coming with the 1.0 update, like over time. And then we got the first look at Dowden Reach, which is their next region. You're gonna recognize these Black Knights, which look a lot scarier than from,
he's not gonna make it
from
through this
RuneScape. If this is the Black Knight's fortress, it looks absolutely incredible.
Incredible.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Right.
I don't know if I'm gonna continue after this segment.
You guys have heard me and Jake talk way too much about this. We also have a message from a couple of creators that you might recognize from the RuneScape community.
RuneScape and Jagex has just turned 25 years old. And the recent year has actually been incredible. And what is to come over the course of 2026 and beyond is something that, as a player myself of RuneScape for 23 years, I am so excited. I mean, I think the game right now, old school RuneScape, is in the best place it's ever been. But Jagex as a company is turning into potentially being the best they have ever actually been. In 2025, over old school RuneScape, we didn't just have many different pieces of content, such as sailing, Balamar, Royal Titans, a duo boss that came to the game. We actually also hit an all-time high player count since the game actually released over a decade ago. That is crazy. It's absolutely incredible. But that is not the end. We still have 2026 to come, and the things that are coming in 2026 are going to be crazy. We have the Blood Moon Rises. We'll be getting more info at the Winter Summit, the finale, potentially, of the Mauritania questline. But personally, the thing that I am the second most excited for,
The hell you
behind
need drop this
Raids
pocket?
4. Now, Raids 4, I know nothing about right now, so I can't really say much, but that is the thing I am the most excited for and have been the most excited for years to come, as of right now. And if that is not everything, we have League 6. And I know one thing about League 6, and that is League 6 Demonic Pacts. All I can say. That's all I know right now. But League 6 will be coming most likely in Q4 of 2026. Can't fact check that. I do not know. But that means League 6 may contain Blood Moon Rises and Raids 4 inside of whatever League 6 is going to be, and that is going to be incredible. As for RuneScape 3, I'm not a huge player or ambassador of RuneScape 3. I am more on the old school side, but there is a massive update that occurred earlier on that I was able to get behind, and so did all of the old school RuneScape community and basically anybody inside the community. And that was the removal of a microtransaction called Treasure Hunter. And finally, RuneScape Dragon Wilds. I played it when it first came out with Ashen Veil, I believe it was called. And in the most recent expansion, Fell Hollow, I recently have played that one as well, and I have completed it. And Dragon Wilds is a game where it's not even fully released. But when I say that, 2026, Dragon Wilds will be fully released to everybody, completely done. But you can play it now. You will only just get the first 2 expansions. And the first 2 expansions as a standalone game is incredible. I cannot wait to see the expansion to the entire thing when we get the entire world, the entire universe of what's going on there. So far, the gameplay is incredible. Whoever's working behind that team, honestly, I feel Dragon Wilds, when it's released later this year, I don't know when, again, it's going to be a masterpiece when it's fully done, when you can start a new character, go through Ashen Veil, go through Fell Hollow, and then go through the next 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, whatever level of different realms there's going to be. But you can still play it now, early, and you can play the expansions as they release. Right now, we have Ashen Veil, we have Fell Hollow, and we will be getting another expansion fairly soon into 2026, and that will be the release of the Mithril, and I think the Fishing skill. Honestly, Jagex, 25-year anniversary, the game, the company, everything, it's looking good, and I'm very, very excited for the future.
And if you guys haven't yet, make sure to go play RuneScape, one of the greatest games of all time.
Next up, we have a group of 4 games, that being Darklight Survivor coming from Mirai & Co., Tape 101 coming from Serversa, and Unawake from Reality Art Studio, Nested Lands from 1M Bits Board.
Can you play third person and over the top? That looks kind of cool. Oh my. What? Okay, that one was kind of cool. That was pretty cool.
Bring out your dead. Bring out your
Is this it?
dead. Bring out your dead.
You smell like shite.
What the hell is that smell? Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead.
For eternity, I struggled to become an aspect of courage, freedom, and honor. So much for the glory of angels.
Let it in. Let it burn your flesh. Let it burn your soul.
First up, we saw Darklight Survivor. Maybe one of the games we've seen that kind of blew our mind a little bit. You had top-down, you had third person, and something else.
Oh, the instantaneous switch, of course, between top-down and third person, but then the pixel art, being able to instantaneously
adapt to.
That's
it's
insane.
really, really sick.
Yeah, combining both those features, because you said it and I was like, wait, is that what it's doing? I had to.
Yeah, you can consider like just toggle it.
That's such a crazy.
My understanding.
Such a crazy feature.
So it's a game like a roguelike game.
Yeah.
And a little bit kind of like Vampire Survivors in the style of Megabunk. So you can either have the top-down view, first-person view, whatever you prefer. And
Oh my God! Just realized.
swap all the time.
Music tonight.
Sick.
I think it's interesting to think about the strategy element of that probably that comes into play, like when you're fighting certain things.
Maybe some
Maybe if
bosses.
you're
it's
seeing a
useful
boss,
to
Because
that
on
way.
the surface, it seems like it's just like it's a personal preference thing, but it might actually have its place in like the gameplay loop. Like
Yeah.
if you're in a
Yeah.
certain situation, like, I should go top down.
Or maybe
real quick.
depending the skill that you use.
Yeah, because you may think that it's just like a gimmick for a different viewpoint or filter or whatever, but the idea that you could use it tactically as a gameplay mechanic too is really cool.
Aiming for early access in late Q1 of 2026. They already have a demo out that a lot of people have played, and we've said this a lot of times. One of my favorite parts about these devs already is that they have listened to their players who have played the demo. They made it a point to tell us, like, we've made 6 patches in the demo based on player feedback, and I think that's super important, especially for a game that looks as good as this, because it can be a lot of fun. You know, roguelike survival with mechanics we've never seen before, as far as I'm aware, so it should be fun. Next up, we had Tape 101, a game that's probably too scary for Jake to play. If I had to.
I had to literally cradle him while we were watching that. I thought he was gonna.
All these
cry.
things are true. Yeah, you guys know me so well.
What I appreciated about it is it's not a jump scare game.
Yeah, they've stressed they don't want to do jump scares. It's specifically psychological, mind melty, unnerving horror.
You will not have jump scares, but you will have nightmares.
You know the thing is, that sounds like something that a developer of a game that has jump scares in it would say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no jump scares.
Yeah, there's.
You said they sound like my chat anytime I play a scary game. No,
I feel like you just have trust issues because of unresolved problems.
You're 20 hours in. That's when you're gonna finally see the jump scare, and it's gonna be one big gotcha.
Honestly, I would kind of respect them for doing
That would be
that.
awesome. Like, I was definitely unnerved by just the music, whatever's going on in the background. They did a great job.
But there's cool little twists to the backgrounds
It
too,
kind of
right?
feels at times that you are also hallucinating because of like the camera.
Well, it's
angle.
like video camera, and
Yeah.
you were in an RC car during certain points, like exploring it. We had Nested Lands as well. It's a village in survival, like village management in survival type of game, where obviously very medieval. A lot of, I mean, what was the last shot? Like throwing bodies on a fire?
Yeah. Bring out your dad. I will say, I love management games. I love management games and sim games, village management sim games. Like this is right up my alley.
This feels like Manor Lords meets survival. So it has a different viewpoint, and you got to take care of not just yourself, but everyone around you.
If you don't, your entire village is just gonna be.
Yeah, they even show you the burning
Burn up.
bodies. Like, yeah, sorry, we lost
Yeah.
some of your peeps.
Yep.
Better make
Done.
better decisions.
What I liked was seeing the blend of, like, obviously you're playing as this person and you have to survive, and he was like hunting stuff and like that, but I imagine you're also recruiting people for your settlement as like the king, and then you have to like choose who to recruit and,
they show
build
grown
out a
out.
village.
Initially, it may start with you doing the micromanagement, but you eventually can assign villagers to go do the forage, go
Kind of like
hunting.
in Power World, how your pals become
Exactly.
your workers without a wage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then finally we had Unawake, a game, a first-person action game, mixed kind of a little bit of fantasy. You're battling hordes with melee, ranged weapons. It's hack and slash. It's roguelike. Looks like kind of like a Doom Skyrim to me.
I mean, honestly,
like that
the
description.
art direction was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like those environments, you see them, and it's just.
It's very pretty.
No, but something about it, I don't even know if I have a comparison. For some reason in the back of my mind, this probably won't make it. Mordor-esque, like, it just looked really good.
Yeah, Mordor.
Very dark version of Mordor, but
The atmosphere.
Yeah, that's
That's like
A bummer version of hell.
Some notes they gave us: expected to launch early access late 2026 as well. They are designing the game to be moddable after release, which I think is really cool. People who like Path of Exile, they specifically called out it's a central skill and stat tree that is similar to Path of Exile, but more approachable. So it's not going to break
expect
it.
a skill forest instead of a skill tree.
Skill Force, lots of complexity, lots of interlocking skills, layers of progression. progression.
So I think a lot of it's going to be a game for people who really like their builds of things and like, okay, how can I specialize in this?
Oh, dude, I'm doing this all day. Just
Did you know that
Do that for me one more time. Just show me the yeah.
And then the double sword grab they were doing. And the fact it's moddable, I would love to see the direction that goes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's so much potential. You could have modders come in, do additional levels, boss fights, romance. Unironically, you could add that if you wanted. Like, lots of potential.
I think it's the world is too dark for that stuff.
Well,
What is
with that
happening now?
attitude, yeah. But maybe with romance,
Love
it wouldn't be so dark.
Love can exist anywhere.
A
Guys,
mod could brighten the world
chill.
up a little bit.
Next up, we have a very exciting segment where we actually got to sit down with the executive producer over all of the Warhammer 40K series, as I understand it, Anatoly Shestov.
By enemies from within. By enemies from without. By enemies from beyond.
I'll be back.
Imagine you're playing inside Warhammer universe by the guys who can't use the army, who need to find this particular person in charge of bad things to make Imperium stand for one more day before grumbling to dust. That's basically how I would describe it. Just imagine the true Warhammerish stories where no choices are good, but you don't have an option to go away. You need to get your hands dirty, and it's just a matter of how precisely you will achieve this. One of the most significant changes that any player would experience compared to the Rogue Trader would be more stakes, more value in a surrounding, in any environment that you're playing with. The covers, the line of sights, we read how they are calculated, how they are working, and how much benefit they providing to the party. So it's basically would be more playing around the environment. We abandon the step up mechanics. So if you're ending your turn behind some wall, you are behind some wall. There won't be like one circle around you that allows you to step up of this cover and to shoot at anything. If you so the place where you start your turn, the place where you're ending your turn would be more significant. Other thing is role-playing model. There are way more roles being made inside the combat. Lots of the things making you roll something, lots of the things make your opponents roll something. So it's not just your weapon skill or ballistic skill, it's way more significant influence of the role-playing choices that you've made previously. Almost all of the combats in the game will have alternative ways to finish them, not just killing all of your enemies. We are allowing player to target specific parts of the body of the enemies, and by doing this we're allowing to make your opponent lose an option to move or lose an option to use abilities. There are different ways how you can tactically approach your desire, your design of how to proceed with the combat. And of course there is a whole new subsystem that came on a change of the momentum. This is a morale system. Momentum was a party based, and you spend it to activate some heroic moments of your companions. For the Dark Heresy, we feel it need to be more intimate, more personal, and not just for your party. We are not just telling a story through the environment or the words of in a dialogue. No, we're actually making cases. We're actually making the culprits. We're actually collecting and interpreting evidence and discussing them with your retinue and analyzing them and making conclusions. There are some other mighty forces inside the scintilla because you're not playing in a vacuum and you need to struggle for power. But most of the time, you are playing as a person in charge, as a person that have authority, and the person who need to make hard choices. One of the most significant ways of the influence of a story for Dark Heresy would be your decision of which case is more important. For example, there is a Underspire slums, and this is a toxic waste, and the level of the toxic sea is growing. And if you're going there as a first place, there will be toxic waste somewhere nearby, and there will be people getting ready to be consumed by the toxic waste. But if you are going there late stage, there will be actual toxic sea, and you will be playing around it. There will be changes in the geometry, changes in the combat encounters of how they are playing, changes in the narrative behind this, and changing based on the timings, how you decided how you approach this.
To venture forth into darkness and bring the light of the Emperor to the uncharted void. All must be cleansed in his name.
Is there anything you can tell us about like new factions, new notable characters, or iconic Warhammer 40k lore?
There would be Trezen, I don't know, most iconic thing that you can potentially name and encounter as a rogue trader, as a Trezen. It would be some interesting takes on Astra Militarum. I won't share specifics not to spoil the fun, but it would be there. And there would be some brand new systems, like augments ones. You will be able to replace some parts of your body with interesting pieces of Imperium technology. There would be some elaboration on a story of the world behind the main road of the Inquisitor Kal Kassar's shenanigans. Let's say it like this. It would be some interesting dive on a past of the von Valancius dynasty, even further than Theodora. There would be some new takes on how dangerous wildlife can be. Other thing that definitely we will provide for the player is some vaults, the Trezen vaults, some collections of pretty wild things being gathered by this Necron. Of course, this is a Rogue Trader story, and Rogue Trader is kind of part of his void ship, so there would be some expanding of the void ship, some new places to visit, some old places to revisit. It would be new companion with a whole set of unique mechanics inside it. It would be the general system of augmentations provided to the players, so if you always wanted to replace the limbs of the Heinrichs with some like pretty adamant ones, you will have such an option. Not just Iron Hands from the Biomonsi, but the real Iron Hands. Yes, that's an option. It's the first DLC that allows us to expand the late game parts of the Rogue Trader, and expand it not mechanically, but expand it in a 100% of the different aspects of the game.
Let's first talk about the new DLC for Rogue Trader.
Actually, I'm gonna interrupt you. Can you tell people generally, basic bitches like Jake, can you explain Warhammer 40k as general? Like what's the playthrough about?
We actually asked Anatoly to describe all of this for people not familiar with Warhammer, and this is how he described it.
Imagine you're playing inside Warhammer universe by the guys who can't use the army, who need to find this particular person in charge of bad things to make Imperium stand for one more day before grumbling to dust. That's basically how I would describe it.
There's a new companion, and there's also, this companion has unique mechanics, and
they're also doing things like new environments. They're revisiting previous environments and then overhauling them. They're altering and they're changing, not to get too specific, but they're changing things about the late game to extend that roadway. This DLC alone offers 12 to 15 hours of additional content. Like, there's a lot of meat on the bone.
So I'm very happy. I was extremely happy when he said that, yes, this game is going to be fully voice acted. And I'm really excited because it helps people to, have like this depth and this, to understand how the characters really feel, especially in a world that's so heavy and difficult.
Dark even at times.
Yes.
But to be clear, Dark Heresy is not, it's not like a sequel to Rogue Trader. It's
Yes,
a separate
it's a
system.
separate-
It works different mechanically. There's different things going on, but my understanding, and speaking with Anatoly, was that it's going to be a very narrative focus. That's the primary concern. Not that Rogue Trader was not a focus, but that's where a lot of the effort is going with the voiced cast throughout the entire thing and many other aspects of it. The narrative is like the central component.
One of the things that I really enjoyed that he mentioned was you can target enemies' specific body parts to sever them during fight.
That was the coolest part that I'd seen.
So it's really nice because if they have like a they're very fast. So you want to target their legs to cripple them and so on. Not only that, but you know how sometimes you get into a very awkward situation where you're crushing the combat, and there is still that one guy that, in spite of all his friends being dead in the battlefield, he's still trying his. That's not going to be really a thing. Enemies can surrender. They can run away. They can try to sometimes maybe even negotiate their way out of this, and it's up to you to decide what happens to them.
Yeah, hearing all those combat options was the coolest thing to hear him talk about. Like, you can render your opponent useless in whatever different limb you want to actually target, but you can also make them blind. There's so many different unique features to the combat where even when I was listening to talk about it, I was like, okay, wow, I've never played a game like this, but it sounds really intriguing.
Yeah, and it was just interesting to see Anatoly describe how the team wanted to revisit some of those things that are taken for granted in RPGs, like the concept of just an enemy. Well, you fight until all the enemies are dead, and that's it. But the team went back and was like, that doesn't like necessarily make sense. Like sometimes the guy would be like, you just blew his head off, you just exploded that guy. I'm covered in John, like I'm gonna run away now. And that just makes sense.
I love that description he gave. Yeah, I love that one.
It's lovely.
So question for the group that I want to spin off of this. How do you play these games? Like, okay, now we know this critical system, you can blow their arm off, you can maim them, and they will surrender, maybe.
We know how she's gonna play it.
So the choice, like...
Make it as miserable as possible.
Let me take one arm, and then feed him that arm while I take off the other arm. Oh, are you surrendering? I can't hear what you're saying.
Too late!
Yeah.
I think he understands me. There are some things that are really exciting about this game, and I cannot wait to try it. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am for this one.
And I can't stress enough, Owlcat Games, they know what they're doing when it comes to CRPGs. Like, they are not to be messed with. They know what they're doing, and I think this is one to keep an eye on for sure.
Next up, a few games I would consider kind of couch co-op games that I would have fun sitting and playing with people, like at a party or with my family. This is going to be Towerborn, coming from Stoic and Xbox Game Studios. We have Sprint City from Double Dutch Games. These are the creators of Speedrunner, and Dinch Attack, coming from Undercoders.
So much nicer.
I would describe this as a brawler meets action RPG. This is an awesome entry into the brawler space as somebody who tends to play a lot of RPGs and MMOs. So I have a lot of brain space and like, I want to make really cool builds. A little less so in like, how do I actually dodge and get out of things and find my openings? Early on, I was able to kind of compensate for that by finding nice little gear and little pieces to put together to eventually build my brawler skill set. And I find myself kind of going back and forth as we play test between like, oh, I'm finding something that's a little difficult here. Well, what can I do with my gear set in order to tweak things? Or like, is there a different skill that I should pick up for this particular encounter? And then be able to go dive right back in. The player is an Ace, which is a deathless defender of humanity, which is currently sequestered away on the Belfry, which is the player's background over there. It's a tower that was set up for mysterious purposes, but turned out to be a pretty good haven for folks after the fall of their stronghold, the City of Numbers. The player is helping humanity as they can, getting refugees to safety, battling the beastkin that have risen and have become incredibly aggressive, while ultimately attempting to find out why did numbers fall and what conspiracy is still brewing there.
We wanted players to experience a brawler type combat inside like a Diablo style RPG gear sort of system. And so we've spent a lot of time over the last 6 months or so taking a ton of feedback from our players to really kind of hone that particular system. So players should be able to come in, pick one of the 4 classes that we have. They'll see a whole new set of skills. They'll find a whole bunch of new equipment. And the idea should be that they should feel like one of several heroes going in and just beating a bunch of like awesome monsters. We've tried to add new enemies, new lieutenants, and new bosses. I think people are gonna feel like quite the adventure as they go into the updated version of Towerborn. Stoic has always tried to be player first. When we decided to do early access for Towerborn, a lot of that was born out of we had a vision of trying to evolve the brawler into something bigger, something that hadn't really been done before. You can see other games have taken different routes.
We're about to hit the final 30 minutes.
Kind of the roguelite route, some stayed into the traditional. We wanted to kind of expand it to more like the true
there's a lot.
action RPG.
There's a lot of it's a lot.
And
of
in order
stuff,
to do
but it's
that,
just
early
the
access was
pacing to
very,
it. It's
very
just like,
important to
can you
figure
get
out
excited
what was
about
going to work
anything?
and what wasn't. Simultaneously,
And I guess, and I told you this already. It's literally just a bunch of games that have already been announced,
I love to talk
just with
about them
updates.
too. How do you not stay in early access for 7 years? Our intent and purpose was we need to come out of early access solid. And there is a certain point where you just collect everything. Most of the feedback that's coming in either kind of falls into an existing category. Hey, a lot of people have said this thing. You know, maybe you might get something new, but you look at it and you're like, yes, it's new, but it's not reaching the, kind of urgency that some of these other things are. We have a good list of things now. This is kind of what the players have told us. We need to really deliver on that. And the best way we can deliver on that is just, put your head down, focus, and create an experience that I believe is worthy of coming out of early access. That people should look at that and say like, oh, okay, I see why you did it. Absolutely was worth it. I can see a clear night and day difference between what is in live right now and what I am receiving when you go into the 1.0.
One of the big pieces was that folks were big fans of certain pieces of actual gear that you would earn through the game, but there was no cosmetic version of that, and so you had to make the choice of like, do I want to look good or do I want to look a little janky but more powerful? And so we added the ability to be able to create a cosmetic version of the gear that you earn through writs, which are earned through completing adventures.
And so the idea initially with Towerborn was we just want to make a fun beat 'em up with a light story in the background. We weren't really going to lean into kind of the stoic narrative strength that we have, and we just kind of wanted to take a bit of a breather. And we expected, perhaps incorrectly, that the community would see it for what it is and be okay with it. But it turned out a lot of people were like, wait, you have something very interesting in the background here. We actually really want to know what's going on. We really would like something more clearly leading us through. And so we've spent a very significant amount of time and resource to put a narrative from the jump. And so there's an arc now. There's a primary antagonist. You will understand that antagonist. You will confront that antagonist, and there will be resolution. And so there's probably a 12 to 20-ish hour story arc now in the game that players can look forward to and feel like there's a resolution to the Towerborn.
Comes a full game next month.
Hello, we're Undercoders, and in the studio based in Barcelona.
Recently, we've been focused on developing 3D platformers, but our studio is heavily influenced by arcade classics, Japanese culture, and extreme sports games. And Dense Attack is our dream project, a step forward for the studio combining everything we love. In Dense Attack, you'll discover a not-so-distant future Japan in which local
Steam
railways
Deck,
have been
everyone's going
abandoned and
crazy.
are now used by underground gangs to compete in illegal contests of train acrobatics. You'll have to rack up points by chaining tricks, explore huge levels, race against rival crews, and uncover a wild story as you travel through Japan taking the railways back. We are making a game that is not just about what you do, but how you do it. It's expressive, stylish, and totally up to you. From our first trips in the late 90s, we've been obsessed by traveling across Japan by train and being able to dive into the local culture, getting to know the architecture, the landscapes, the folklore, and we're always captivated by the sheer contrast of their peaceful countryside and the high energy of its huge cities, which somehow feels connected and part of the same cultural rhythm. It's a never-ending source of inspiration that has been fueling our creative energy throughout all the years and has now materialized in Dense Attack. On your adventure, you'll find a variety of challenges to move forward, from trip-pack arenas to compete for high scores, to objective-based exploration levels, and even racing circuits.
The world is packed with a bunch of unique characters from different gangs and personalities that you will have to face on your journey through Japan. And with every new challenge, you will grow as a Dense Attacker and further add to the chaos. We've handcrafted every stage from the ground up, pulling from real-world locations to make every landscape different but recognizable. You will go really fast, but if you look closely, you'll catch references to every corner of Japanese culture.
You'll be fighting wild boss battles against gang leaders, which will test everything that you've learned. These are always full of surprises. You'll never know what secret technique your rival hides, so you'll have to get creative to overcome them with your train. They're a mix of spectacle, personality, and challenge that one could expect for an anime-style showdown made game. Dense Attack is a love letter to anime, skate games, and Japan's iconic train system. If you like Jet Set Radio, Tony Hawk, or Dense to Go, you can't miss this train.
Dense to Go?
Pun intended.
Wishlist now. We can't wait to show you more.
Oh, it's coming to Game Pass.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Dense Attack. It's the best game in the world. See us.
Hello, we're Undercoders.
Outtakes.
Hello.
Outtakes. Gotta love outtakes.
Wishlist now. Wishlist now. We can ship. Wishlist now. We can't
What?
wait to show you more.
No. Sprint City.
I talked to McLaren and Shayna, and they were awesome and very chatty about their game, and for all good reasons. They were an early access game. It's they want to focus more on the RPG side of things, but technically speaking, looter, brawler, side scroller, like you said, meant to
Kind
be.
of like Castle Crashers.
Yeah, that is definitely the most common comparison they get, but along those lines of couch co-op, you want to play with a buddy or play with whoever's next to you, and they are actually an early access game, now going to full release. So this is their big update to justify the full release, but it was already definitely justified. Upon full release, we're looking at 170 plus missions. What they say is probably around 20 plus hours of content, and they also want to focus on these builds, which lead to an ultimate replayability. So there's also a difficulty bar they're going to be adding to all of this.
Towerborn.
They have a level
I've
that
played
is
it.
going to be called, I believe, Brutal. And from what I'm being told, it will be extremely difficult, but the game is meant to be replayed plenty with
very
you focusing on
entertaining
what
and fun.
build you actually want as you play through it all.
There's definitely a huge market for co-op couch gaming right now in a world of like online multiplayer. I feel like that's kind of a lost art. You saw successive games like Split Fiction. stuff like that. So.
For those of you who are lonely without friends, I relate to you. I actually played this game by myself every time I have played it, and I still had a blast.
And for those who haven't checked out the original, with this big update though, also introducing a new biome. You have new bosses. The enemies you fight against have new styles of combat. So they are really introducing a full-fledged game that was already pretty fleshed out to begin with, but they're wanting people to be like, okay, this is technically a new game. So for those who are expected to stumble across this, you are getting a brand new side scroller with so much replayability.
And it's another situation where they took a ton of feedback from early access.
Yes, heavily community focused. Again, we've said it many a times. A lot of these devs know how to listen to feedback because those are their diehards, and they have definitely done that.
Next up, we had Dinch Attack.
I like Train.
I love these guys.
You tried to steal it from me, but I was taking that.
I love these guys.
Who doesn't like trains?
I love these guys.
This is my favorite Japan-inspired game ever.
I had seen this game before, but I didn't really understand what it even was. But now I understand what it is, the inspirations. Like, it makes sense. As weird as it is to say that an acrobatic train game makes sense to me, it makes sense now.
Yeah, because we were talking, what, like Temple...
That is a game for the new generation.
Like,
yes.
Temple Runner X, like TikTok.
Yeah, you see it's under a Joe Rogan clip on TikTok, like to keep people's attention.
But in the best of way, because also I love doing this kind of format because you see a different side of those devs. Like, they went out of their way to send us that stuff, and we get to see a different side of them, and to see and connect to the faces behind it and see their enthusiasm.
They're so fun.
Yeah.
How could they not make a fun game?
Yeah.
It's impossible.
The boss, the mecha train
the
thing.
mecha train
and, like,
boss
So
is
when
sick.
I heard there's gonna be a boss fight in the train acrobatics game, I was like,
at first
But it
glance,
works.
you're like, what is this? And then you realize you see more of it.
I
Like,
can't
wow,
wait
there's
to
a
know
lot
the
more to it.
storyline.
Exactly. So it seems fun and engaging, and then there's like, oh, there's a story behind this.
And
you're
there's
like,
real
okay.
bosses.
And real inspirations. Like,
So
they
it's a
they
soul-
show you what has actually inspired them to make this Japanese-style game.
Yes.
Lovely. Train out of 10.
Next up in that group, we had Sprint City. That is coming from Double Dutch, which was the creators of Speedrunners, which is another very popular, couch game that people have played for a very long time. They have Speedrunners 2 already coming out, but this is a whole different game, but from the same creators.
This looks like a game that, in a good way, would really piss me off to lose to other people.
It looks like a game that would ruin friendships.
I would.
like
It looks like one of those side scrollers that I would fall so far behind where you can't even see the others, and it just kind of leaves you real
The
upset.
first jump, and you're like, I'm gonna get it.
turn the console off.
Get a bigger
Start over.
Get a bigger TV so I can see where they're at.
To me, Sprint City is the game that you are over at like a party. It's like the Super Smash Bros. Effect.
Yes.
It's like we've played a round of Pong or something, and now we want to play a video game together. We're gonna go play this, and people are gonna get pissed, and Jake and Rob are gonna get in a fist fight probably. And like,
He doesn't want that.
And who do you think's
Did
gonna
you
win
guys
that
ever
fist
play-
fight?
We already had this
Who do you
debate
think
today.
would win that fit? Just look at the size of the feet. Pretty close, aren't? Yeah.
Did you guys ever play Overcooked with your families?
I did not, but I've watched people, and I've seen it ruin relationships. I feel like.
It can. It's the ultimate test of communication. In this case, my understanding is the game is much more competitive, where you're playing against your friends, not really working together. But these types of games, I just
It's momentum based. It's Sprint City, literally, and like Speedrunners. And so I feel like it's one of those games that's also probably very satisfying to be good at.
Yeah.
And to be like.
Once it clicks.
But you can't be too good.
Once you're hitting all the
Yeah, but you
proper
can't
places.
be too good or your friends won't play with you.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay, now we have a set of beautiful games, in my opinion. This is going to be Eternal Life of Goldman from We Appy Studio and THQ Nordic. We have Dust Fade from Weird Beluga in Fireshine, and another Fireshine game with Pugstorm called Core Keeper.
On the last batch of games. What the f?
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean he smashed?
What do you think? He fell from a great height.
Yeah, but he couldn't have... did he really die?
I imagine he was crushed to a pulp. Do you think they'll ever find his body?
Mom!
Okay. I was just making sure you were paying attention.
if you have not seen the very first trailer for this game, oh my god.
Do you want to die?
Really? Surprise!
You can't turn back time, my star. It'll be different, but you'll both be okay.
First, we had Eternal Life of Goldman that we just watched that
Dude,
trailer.
it looks so good.
Art style is crazy.
I love the hand-drawn vibe. Oh,
huge Hollow Knight.
It looks like those classic.
It looks so good.
Classic animation.
It gives me also Cuphead too.
Cuphead, it's like Cuphead, Hollow Knight.
Yeah. Oh, and so they've had a previous trailer that was very unsettling because the narrative,
Yes.
the narration went from like comforting,
Happy, and then it got really
to like dark and scary. This one, it was much more.
I miss the murder
harder,
rides.
but like it works. I'm so excited. I think it looks so good.
It's gonna be emotional. It seems like an emotional game
Yes.
that like people are gonna get tied to. Like you said, Hollow Knight. What was it? Celeste, sort of.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, game of the year. I don't know.
Whoa.
As people like to say about any game.
Yeah, they have a free demo launching in February actually, so people can actually try it.
I love the narration, and I can't wait to see more behind it.
Like we touched on, I think it's one of those games that people will play because it's like a challenging platformer, side-scrolling type game, and then you're gonna be sobbing by the end of it.
Yeah,
I
it just
get that
seems
vibe.
very like they tell you just enough to pique your interest. They don't tell you much in the trailer,
And then
like,
they're gonna emotionally destroy.
Yeah, and it seems
you.
very dark, and you're like, well, why?
And hopefully set you up perfect for a sequel.
Yeah. Oh, you never know.
Hand painted. as well, hand drawn.
I don't even know how you do that though. Like, how do you hand draw a game? That's crazy.
See, hopefully next year we have
People
a few,
more talented than us. This is why we're sitting here. And
I'm like, where are the
like
frames at? What do you?
That's one of the games that would be really cool to go do a dive on in the studio. Like, I
yeah.
want to
Just to see, I want to see what how you did this.
We want to come and see.
We'll go.
We will fly there, I promise.
Next up, then we had Core Keeper, a game that you two especially
Yes.
are very familiar with. We have an update coming where you're going to be able to have a massive update with the Northern Biome on January 28th. There's a new boss, there's next-gen weapons and armor, whole new stuff.
Yeah, I play this a lot with my wife. It's just like one of our couple games, and I love it, and so seeing new content is crazy.
I played it a lot by myself. I started playing it and suddenly I had over 100 hours in this game. I wish I could show off my base.
Yeah, I thought I was doing well. I mentioned it to Lua that I played Core Keeper, and I felt pretty good about where it was. And then she's like, yeah, I have 100 hours, and I have this, and this. I'm like, okay, I'll just leave.
It's a great game. I had a lot of fun. It's one of these games you start and suddenly you spent a week playing it.
Oh, you will lose yourself.
Yeah.
The other night, we stayed up till 1 a.m. playing it when we meant to play till 11, and it's just because.
It's good.
Yeah, it's just one more run through the mines. I'll be right back.
How would you like define this game to someone who hasn't seen it?
I mean, I would say it's Stardew Valley, kind of meets Terraria, but it's like procedurally generated, up to 8-player co-op, so you can play with all of your friends, unless you have way more friends than me. And it's just. Every run is going to be different because it's all based on seeds, so you can have different save files for different friends and pairings. It's really, really cool.
You can actually use your same character in different save files. So if you're playing by yourself or in your friend's server, you can use the same character, or you can make a new character for their server. So it's kind of like you can visit their home.
And boss fights. I forgot about that.
Oh, the boss fights are so good.
Stardew Valley, more combat focused, but also co-op and boss fights.
So different boss fights have different mechanics. The boss system in this game is actually excellent. I have killed, I think, all of the bosses on the game as of right now, so I can't wait for the update, for the new stuff.
For a new one.
Then finally in that section, we had Dusk Fade from Weird Beluga and
That's the
Fireshine.
one right there. That's the one.
They say it is a love letter to the golden era of 3D action platforming like Jak and Daxter in Ratchet
That's
and
exactly
Clank.
that whole era, like the PS1, that is PS2 era. That's what was screaming at me.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, and then there's boss fights with dodge rolls and health bars, so therefore it is a Souls-like.
And we saw so many different environments too.
Well, you know, like some games, you see the gameplay and
She's
you're
about
just.
to lose her mind.
Well, I was gonna say, like, you see some gameplay and you just like, it's gonna feel good in the
Yeah,
hand.
you can tell by watching somebody else play that feels so.
Yeah,
There's so
somebody-
much dopamine being
And then you
released.
actually play it and you get destroyed.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm not that good, but I will get there. It looks very, very good.
It's like cute. It looks like a fun game, like you would let your kids play as well.
Is it like a good combination of all that? You even saw like a little bit of Kingdom Hearts there, a little bit.
Yeah, definitely a good mix.
And he's grabbing
Yeah, the sword.
Yes.
Yeah.
When the devs describe a game as a love letter to a certain genre or to other games and are not afraid to embrace that,
That's a good sign.
It's a level. To be able to say that, there has to be some level of confidence there. Like I know what I have.
And respect.
So I can
What are
call
we
it a love letter
onging
because I
about
know when they see
Shadow?
it, they're gonna feel the same way.
It's good. That's well said.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Shadow of the Road coming from
For,
Owlcat as
Sceptile.
well, with Another Angle Games being the dev. There is Starfinder from Epic Tellers, as well as Gallipoli from Black Mill Games.
Citizens of Nippon, a new dawn rises upon your land. Through progress and technology, we bring prosperity to all. Your nation ripples with mutiny. But our technology will protect your peace. Peace demands the sacrifice of those that stand in the way of progress. On behalf of your glorious Emperor Mutsuhito, we will bring light where there is darkness. Together, we march into a brighter tomorrow. For peace. For progress. For the Empire.
still felt like BioShock.
This is Ricard Pillosu, and I am the co-founder at Epicteros Entertainment. I'm here to tell you about our first game, Starfinder Afterlife, licensed from Paizo. At its core, Starfinder Afterlight is a party-based RPG in a universe that mixes technology and magic. We focus on creating great storytelling inspired by movies like Guardians of the Galaxy or shows like Firefly.
It's a Kickstarter?
While in the game you will create your own character, in the demo you play as one of the companions, Sterling.
So you give orders? Naughty.
Thanks to the success of our Kickstarter, our game will have full voiceover. The dialogue system is the main way to introduce the player to the lore of the world.
If you have the sudden, weird feeling of being naked, it's Lou. Her gaze is like an X-ray machine. By the looks on her face, she either thinks you're a joke, or it's her favorite song playing.
That was our narrator, Roger Clark, known from the Red Dead Redemption series, giving the right space western feeling we're looking for in the game.
Yeah, sorry to ruin happy hour for you, but I have bad news about the big one and the runt. Don't worry, I promise not to say I told you so.
Lou here is referring to Tycho and Cole, our friends, that, after a heist gone wrong, should meet us here. Lou seems to know something about them. If you push Lou about the information she's skipping, she's going to be annoyed, and that will lower your approval with her and limit your potential romance options.
Hold on, hotshot. I own the info. I choose how to deliver it. All right. They were ambushed at Secubot offices. They knew they were coming, so now the odd couple needs our help. Happy now?
We start the combat right away. The security robots are looking for us and are waiting outside the bar.
Time for my close-up.
The game uses the battle-tested system of Pathfinder 2nd Edition with 3 actions per turn. Lou already starts in a very good place. She's a support character, so it's better for her to stay behind. She will use the ability Get Them to give a bonus to Sterling when he attacks a specific character, and then shoot again. Now, for Sterling, what makes more sense is to close our distance and use our energy weapon. For combat, we decided to stay away from a grid-based system that gave the feeling of a tabletop simulator.
Time for my close-up.
This is it. The team is in full production to release the first 10 hours in early access for summer next year. We cannot wait to show you more. Thanks for watching.
summer of next year.
Gallipoli is a hardcore multiplayer first-person shooter set in the Middle Eastern theater of World War I. It features authentic weapons, locations, and factions that you play with 50-player servers. How we approach it is we have a unique blend of arcade, where we don't compromise on is picking the locations. Those are always the actual battles. The weapons, the ones that were actually used, and uniforms that are as accurate as possible and plausibly used. It sets us apart there. We go quite deep on the history, but then again we're more accessible than say some of the military simulators. It's easy to jump into. Game is a bit more approachable. So in that way, it sets it apart from another subgenre in the shooters as well. If you wield one of the rifles in the game, the bolt action rifles, you expect it to be one shot, one kill. The rest of the game is built around that premise. So yes, rifles are one shot kill, but then again, it must not be the case that somebody goes around the corner and kills the entire team in 1 second. So it's especially in multiplayer, the fairness concept must be adhered to. So everything's built sort of around making sure that the game feels fair. So there's a balance between in the gunplay that needs to happen, as well as in the way we handle spawning and how quick you are back into the battle. You're very quick to be in combat here. There's other quirky weapons that are part of the arsenals, but these are accurate. They were used. We don't do experimental weapons. We try to stay as accurate as possible when we model them. The locations we picked, using some geodata, a lot of investigation on images, trying to puzzle together how it looked like when the battle took place. When you're under fire, you have a difficulty reloading your weapon, for instance, and that has custom animations to it. So it's quite elaborate. Not a lot of games, if at all, do this. Where it's really dynamic based on what happens, and still fair in a way that the rules are predictable. It's not a random jamming system. It's really dependent on what the player does. One of the cooler things is that you can now build stuff together. Part of the game mode will be that you are able to construct objectives and machine guns and other things together. It's kind of like our evolution of the game mode we had in Isonzo, taken to 11, where it's really you fight over a certain area, and once it's captured you have to construct things together and then to consolidate your position to secure it.
Guys, first we looked at Shadow of the Road there. Story tactical driven RPG in Japan, but also some like supernatural stuff going on.
Okay, so I actually played the demo for this game and it was super fun. It felt kind of like an XCOM meets like Samurai, but there were like very unique twists. The final fight in the demo is actually really sick. I hope you enjoy it. There was like cool mechanics and I don't know, give the demo a go and fun stuff. If you like the kind of like XCOM, tactical, maybe even a little bit of like the Baldur's Gate type, definitely check it out.
There's a late 2026 release for this game. I would say, to me, someone who doesn't play these types of games, I just think the storyline, or not the storyline, like the environment is cool. It's Japan with supernatural elements. Like you saw that big robot walking around.
Sci-fi samurai. I feel like that's like a trend now, is like taking certain settings and combining it with sci-fi. That's really cool.
I'm not sure I would say it's sci-fi, but I would say like mythology. It's just some really sick stuff. There is a lot of exploration, and exploration is actually quite cool. You can like change things in the world.
Then we had Starfinder coming from Epic Tellers. That's going to be in early access in 2026 as of right now, and the demo is actually going to be available soon during Steam Next Fest. So when this airs, that will be a month away.
So I actually got to talk with the devs. They were very happy that the Kickstarter was doing so well. They also got a very good team in the voice acting team, and the game seems super exciting. I can't wait to hear more about it.
I mean, being built off of Pathfinder, I think you said 2nd edition?
Yes.
You know there's going to be a lot of depth and complexity when it comes to combat too. So, I mean, I can see why people are excited. I can just certainly see.
But to me, what I can already appreciate looking at it is, okay, you guys obviously paid a lot of attention to your art style, being kind of like the Persona vibes of the pop-ups. I think is really cool. And as we know, the voice acting as well. I think they have a couple of notable names.
Sombra from Overwatch.
Yeah, so they put a lot of detail into those, which I can appreciate, even as someone who doesn't.
And funnily enough, this character that I mentioned, that's this larvae with this grub-like character with a grub, is actually voiced by the same VA as Asterion. So,
oh, goodness.
Preach is also voice acted by Neil Newbone, and he's also the director of the voice acting in this game.
That's crazy.
Then we had World War I Gallipoli as our final one. Jake got to do another interview here with someone who, I mean, I remember you saying during the interview, it felt like a high school lesson for you listening.
Yeah, it was awesome to talk to Josh, and he gave me a real quick pronunciation lesson because luckily I got his name right, and I didn't get the name of the game right because being from Iowa, I said Gallipoli, and it is pronounced Gallipoli. Long story short, Gallipoli is covering the Ottoman front, the Eastern front throughout all of this, and what you'll find with Black Mill Games is they always have realistic weaponry for the side they're covering and for the time being World War I, and they don't miss that here.
Well, the uniforms, there's so much attention to detail, and they even have some unique gameplay systems, like the suppression system, where
coolest thing.
So cool. It's basically like when the fire's coming in, like you'll start to struggle reloading and stuff.
I don't think I've ever seen, like, I'm sure, I don't know if it's been done or not, but I can't recall another game that's done that.
But it's so clever, because of course you'd struggle reloading when bullets are whizzing by.
What that does for your level of immersion is,
And just to remind you guys, this game, I think they do have a PvP focus, but they're also working on a single-player campaign.
Yeah, they want to do it justice of telling stories of actual battles that did take place, and they're going to continue this string. Like, they're going to continue. I even asked them, like, what do you progress forward on as a studio? Like, he's like, well, we got a lot to do still for World War I. It was a big war, and it lasted a long time, and so they're not even done here. And luckily, they have found themselves a diehard audience that wants to see this story told battle to battle, all encompassing the same war.
Well, and it's such a fascinating way to be able to preserve that piece of history.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like in an interactive way where people can kind of go boots on the ground and see what it was like in of course, a gamified version, but I think it helps educate a whole new generation on something that would otherwise kind of be forgotten.
Okay, now our final section we have here, a very exciting, a very cool one, if I had to say and use a word I haven't used so far. For the first time, a very cool section here. First up, we have Where Winds Meet, a game that obviously is already out.
I love it!
But we are getting a brand new boss coming to the Western version of the game in Dino Blade, coming from Team Spino. Incredible looking game. And we also have exclusive interview content with Crimson Desert.
Excuse me. Does the moon over the south still shine bright?
Did we just experience a whole boss battle? What the hell?
Based on the trailers and based on a bunch of things that I've seen about this game, you can clearly slay dragons. Is that true?
There are dragons in the game, and you do fight them. We haven't revealed just yet whether or not you can actually slay them, but you can fight them, you can fly them.
Can you lay them?
I'm sorry to the Lua fans, but at this point we're not confirming whether or not there's dragon relations.
Could you speak a little bit to how big this game is?
We've been seeing some news out there with some specific numbers floating around about how big the map is. I don't think numbers really do it justice because how big is that in terms of scope and scale? But what we can say is the world's at least twice as big as the open world and playable area of Skyrim. It's larger than the map of a Red Dead Redemption 2. Open world games are about doing things, having activities, having distractions. So we wanted to create a world that's not only passive, but is also incredibly interactive. Obviously, you and your community, Lua, care a lot about romance systems. This is not that type of game in terms of RPG elements and decision making. What it is, though, is you choose the type of character that you want to play as in terms of your progression within the systems in the game. And then through basically headcanon, you're having this very different experience than other players because of the scope and scale of the game. You'll be distracted by something, you'll go on this quest line, you'll have an experience that'll be radically different than someone else, even though they're playing the same game. The guiding principle for the game is around empowering the player and not forcing them into specific choices. There's a lot of time between now and launch in March for us to be able to elaborate on those systems, show people if they have, say, I have an hour to jump in and play this game after work, what is my experience going to look like? So we've done a little bit of showing when you're not in combat, how you're taking advantage and interacting in the world, harvesting resource, gathering them for a whole crafting system that we have in the game for equipment as well as...
You can build your house, apparently.
There is a house. The world is made to be interacted with, and that's also how you learn about the world. So by talking to NPCs, by picking up chickens, then you've learned and your codex will have been updated about the chickens.
What about things that go beyond like fighting? Is there like puzzles? Is there like different types of quests?
That's a great question. One of the things that we showcased, we had a team over to Korea to do a deep dive kind of behind the scenes last September. They came out and we showed them a glimpse of a bunch of different systems. One of the systems that we showed them was in what we call the aerial abyss. It's those sky islands that you see there. That's a very important, pivotal part in the story and quest and mystery surrounding the world. In those sky islands, there are puzzles. They all have a different vibe, if you will, and then treasures and rewards for completing that.
When can people get the game? Where can they get it? What does that look like for you guys?
The game comes out on March 19th across basically every platform. It'll be available on consoles on PS5, as well as Xbox Series X and S, PC, as well as natively on Mac.
First, let's start with Where Winds Me. Well, since the game came out, I have played basically every day that game since it came out. I really like it. I love how many we just did get new footage of a boss fight, but the game is goes way beyond this. You can play it single player. You can do everything by yourself. You can play with friends. You can have a guild. The game is mind-blowing, especially because it's free. It's not pay to win. Everything in their story is cosmetic.
So Where Winds Me is such a crazy game because, for one, it's free.
Yeah.
Which is wild. It's monetized exclusively through cosmetics. Yep. So they've even said we will never monetize power within the game, which I think is the way it should be.
Yeah.
But they also want to it has kind of two sides to it, where it does have the single-player adventure side, because you can play by yourself. You can play co-op, going through the new boss fight together with your friends. And then there's also a side of it which is heavily inspired by classical MMOs, where a player does something bad, they get put in the back of a cart, and everybody comes in and throws tomatoes at them.
I feel like it's a modern MMO that actually knows the audience. We love seeing those kind of things. And those are the kind of things that also appeal to, it doesn't matter Eastern or Western, but those are the kind of things that people are going to talk about.
This game is shocking on how much depth it has.
There really is nothing like it.
God, the game is beautiful.
It's absolutely crazy. And every boss fight is different and visually pretty stunning, I would say.
Speaking of, we watched the boss fight, the Master's Message. It seems like it's based on, obviously, you're reading the Master's Message. You have to fight a different version of this ink boss. While we were watching it, you, Rob, specifically were like you haven't played this game, but you're watching it and you're thinking, wow, maybe I should play this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Why? What looks good about it?
It looks so satisfying. There's something about it, you know how it is when you're fighting a boss and it's the movement's almost fluid and you're almost in rhythm with the boss and their moveset. And that's what makes games like that are boss-centric so satisfying to play. There's something about mastering a boss's moveset.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people like the combat in this game. All that stuff you said, very true. And very expansive. And then the flip side is the combat is also really good.
Yeah, it looks very good. I think that's what Luke was talking about. It's just the fact that it's free to play. Even myself, before it was released, I was so skeptical of it. It's there's no way that there's a catch. There's got to, because naturally with the nature of our industry, there's been so much free to play stuff that comes out and you're not what I expected. But this seems to be a really, really quality game.
Then we also saw Dino Blade here, which an action game.
That's why I'm here.
Some information, an action game centered, obviously fighting as a dinosaur with a sword. The demo is available on Steam right now for PC. It's about an hour-long demo, so you can play it if you want, have some fun. We got to see a new dinosaur in that trailer that has never been seen before, and it's planned for release still in 2026, so sometime next year. No specific date right now. I'm kicking it to Rob first.
Dinosaurs with sword, it's a dinosaur.
It's a dinosaur.
Soul. Dude, just watching the trailer, I could feel my testosterone rising. My bench press max went up 20 pounds. Because
the music and everything.
Dude,
really...
dude, the Linkin Park montages are gonna be great.
Dude, it's so weird.
It's ridiculous.
So
I love
give it to me. I want it.
Highly anticipated, I think, across the board, just because it's so fun. It's such a gamer game. Dinosaur swords, you can't really beat that.
Yeah, I love it.
Then to end things off, we have Crimson Desert, a game
another crazy good
everyone familiar with. I would say it's been marketed for a very long time. People know it's coming. It's coming from Pearl Abyss. which is Black Desert as well.
The entire game is built on their proprietary engine, which it was fascinating to hear how they've broken it down, because like, you see Crimson Desert and so many things about it look too good to be true. They look crazy. They have hundreds of enemies on screen. They have all of this physics simulation. They have crazy stuff where like they have sky islands. You can jump down from straight down to the surface.
Can I just just to explain in the physics simulation that he's talking about? So, for example, if you have like a siege weapon and you throw a boat at a house, you can actually see the destruction starting from where the boat hit and everything else falling through it.
Well, and people see that, and from our frame of like, you know, standard open worlds in Unreal Engine 5 or something, not that that's a bad engine or anything, but like, we see that and we assume, okay, it's gonna run terribly. Okay, it's gonna have frame drops or it's gonna stutter. Okay, this or that. But this is an engine that they have built from the ground up with this game basically in mind. And it's just absolutely crazy because we've had the chance to play it, and that just is what the game is. It's ridiculous and crazy. And what's even crazier is that Will even shared with us some very special information that we are breaking here for the first time.
The size of the game is 2
times
Skyrim.
We didn't even rehearse that.
That just happened.
It's twice the size of Skyrim. It's actually bigger than the entire map of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Which is crazy.
Which I love that Will follows up by saying size doesn't matter, but in our game, it kind of does.
But like, we're bigger. It's crazy.
Well, I saw from the first gameplay clip that you could ride a dragon and a bear. Like, quite honestly, I don't know how my body's gonna keep up with this level of testosterone. Between that
It is not the first game. It is not the first game.
We're gonna see you next year for the next show, and you're just gonna be walking around.
Put on 40
It's not
pounds
the
of
first game
lean
that you can
mass.
ride a bear.
Huh?
Huh?
What'd you say?
It's not the first game you can ride a bear. It might be true, but
different kind of rep.
Baldur's Gate 3 right
But also, when you drop a line like that, you mentioned confidence. Like, you don't drop a line like that without knowing that you are confident in your game.
They are
you
putting
mentioned that for a
themselves
reason.
in the same bucket as Skyrim and Red Dead 2, and I think that tells you all you need to know about their confidence level of where they're at.
Coming March 19th.
Coming March 19th.
Let's go. Thank you, those of you who stayed with us from beginning to end. We really appreciate you. This has been a blast to work with on the background. Those guys have been amazing.
I think there's a thank you in a few different directions we would all probably feel. One, obviously for like myself, thank the team, production team as well. I think this is awesome. Very cool that you guys were all down to try to do this. It's like a new thing. Also thank you to the audience, right? Like whoever is watching this and trying to engage in something new, it does mean a lot to us and the developers.
Thank you so much to the devs for taking us seriously and, you know, being excited to share with us what you have shared, to talk with us.
Our goal was to really try to lower the barrier for a lot of developers to be able to showcase their games, even if they don't have a crazy marketing budget or they don't have some big publisher that can, you know, brute force it. And I mean, the crazy amounts of talent that we saw put on display today is wild. And I think we're all very humbled that we had the chance to check it out and share it with you.
Thank you for having us.
It's also something that we can look forward to a little bit, where we did this in a pretty small time frame, I would say.
Yeah, you guys have no idea. Yeah, we started talking like 3 or 4 months ago.
And a lot of people that we spoke to, publishers and devs, again, thank you again, because they worked very hard to get this stuff to us and out and participate in it. And a lot of people we talked to that didn't participate because they had other plans. It's like, well, we didn't know about this. But hopefully for the next one, we can plan more in advance and people can be a part of it and like, hey, let's go travel to people, right? And do interviews in person. Let's go.
Yeah, we want to grow on this. We want to do it better, but we got to get the first one out there. I can't even stress the amount of times we brought up a game. I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that game existed until you explained it to me, and now I'm interested in that game and the team behind it. Like, that's the beauty of this show. Like, that was our ultimate goal. We want to expose you guys to games you either did or did not know about, and then it also give you guys a different show of like, this is the team behind it and the personalities you can attach yourself to for the future of these games.
It was great putting faces to these developers as well, because you know, this industry naturally, we're very critical of developers, but I think sometimes we forget that those are real people that pour their heart, that video games are art.
They
and
love it. They love
They
their
love
game.
what they're doing, and I think that's awesome.
Well, to all of you guys out there, this has been the first ever edition of New Game Plus. It has been an absolute honor for all of us to come together, and hopefully much more coming in the future. You know, we all love, at the very core, we love freaking video games, and we got to show you guys so much today, and hopefully more in the future. It's been an absolute pleasure, and here's to that future.
Much more coming.
Cheers.
Cheers. I don't have any.
Cheers.
Nothing left after 3 hours.
Damn, that ended silently. I don't know what to do anymore. All right. Here's the plan. We're ending. Probably back on an hour or two to play some Ark. Maybe COD too. I'm just like, ugh. It's just that was a lot. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate everyone for hanging out. Wherever you're lurking, right, and all that stuff, chatted and all that stuff. I am. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. Yeah. So I will see you guys soon. I'm just like, I need to recharge after that. So long. I'll see you soon. Peace.